San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, there's only one opening left in the NFL. According to reports, Ravens defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald will be the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. That leaves the Washington Commanders as the last team standing. By the way, Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn had his second interview with the Commanders yesterday. Spurs back in action tonight. They'll take on the Orlando Magic in the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock.
Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day!
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 Hump day! Here we go! That sounds better coming from Dak than it does from Minix, doesn't it? Happy Hump Day, everybody. This is the Blitz right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is stuck down at the Bexar County Courthouse, apparently, in a jury pool. And so he's not here today. Whether he'll roll in later or not, I kind of doubt it. But you never know. He might. He texts me, or the group. We have a group chat here at San Antonio Sports Star, and he left a message saying he was on a lunch break for a trial that was a sexual assault of a minor. Let me make sure I get it right here. Yeah, of a continuous sexual abuse child case that is expected. Now, keep that in mind, expected to last until Friday. They have not eliminated anyone from the pool. Now, my deal was, I said, well, no worries. We got this. It's okay. But then I got to thinking, if he gets picked for this jury pool and one of those lawyers happens to say, well, I need a continuance for Thursday, half a day, or Friday, and we'll just pick it up on Monday. Jason is screwed. He's screwed because me and Rob are going to be on a flight to Las Vegas on Sunday, getting ready for Radio Row there for the Super Bowl to start our shows Monday morning. And then poor little Jason would be left here in San Antonio on a jury. So we'll see how that all plays out. But as of today, he is not here. That would be funny. I told the guy, I said, dude, just cancel it. Just tell him you got to cancel it and reschedule the damn thing. He goes, no, I want to go down and see, I'd love to be on a jury. I said, you do remember we're going to Vegas on Sunday. You never know what you might get picked for. So you might be going, Pledge.
All right.
We'll leave Minix here to take care of the board and the recordings and all the other stuff that you do.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
No, it probably wouldn't go well. Man, oh man. So that's
But are you allowed to release the details of the case?
Well, I don't see why not. Minix did. He didn't say I wasn't supposed to. He didn't say that I wasn't supposed to. So I just thought, well, I just got to let everybody know. Everybody's listening and on 94.1. If you're listening on and watching on YouTube, or if you're at sasportstar.com, we appreciate every place that you guys are watching and listening. And we got a great show today. But that adds a little drama to the whole thing. I mean, just a little bit of drama because I haven't heard back from him since I sent him that. So I don't know if he's being interviewed or whatever the case may be, but
held in contempt.
Yeah, could be. Well, we'll see what happens there. A little drama as we go through this Hump Day.
Hump Day?
Yes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, my goodness. We're going to have some fun today, Pledge.
Hump Day?
Hump Day!
Hump Day?
Here we go. Much better. There it is. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're doing, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, wherever you're going. Thanks for bringing us with you. We got a lot to get into, about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones stuff that they talked about at the Senior Bowl yesterday. And I know we went over some of that stuff yesterday, but R.J. Ochoa with Rob Thompson in the morning, they were talking about it. And R.J. Ochoa is probably the most diehard Cowboy fan that I know, even bigger than Jason Minix himself. So RJ a little upset, obviously, with what's going on and how this whole thing is playing out and some of the comments that Jerry and Steven had to make. So we'll get into that coming up here in just a moment, because I got a little response for RJ. And I don't know if RJ listens down because he's got a lot of stuff to do, but he's always welcome to protect himself and defend himself when we get into that coming up in the next segment. So a lot to talk about when it comes to the Cowboys and the comments of one Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. So we'll do that coming up in a minute. But before we get started, I just and it's really bugging me because I don't know about y'all, and I know I have no reason to, because Taylor Swift is like richer than anything or anybody that I know, except maybe Jerry Jones. I feel sorry for her. I'm really starting to feel sorry for her. I saw a video today, and it was a tweet where she's walking out of the building the other day after Kansas City beat Baltimore, and somebody in the crowd there, a lot of them were like, "Oh, Taylor, oh, we love you." And then there was this one dude who said, "Hey, Taylor, you're ruining football." I'm a Swiftie. Yes. And now more so than ever. And poor Taylor says, "I didn't do anything." And then there's another tweet that went out, and it was when she was on camera inside the suite. And you can, if you read her lips, she's saying like, "Oh, please go away." Like she's even getting tired of it, doesn't want to be seen, and she's not doing anything. So I'm really starting to feel sorry for her. And I guess CBS Sports is too, because they sent out a tweet today saying that CBS cameras only showed Taylor Swift on Sunday for 44 seconds. Now, this is what they say. I have no way of disputing that or confirming that or anything else. But 45 seconds or so. And that's it. They spent more time showing food items, apparently, is what they say, than they did Taylor Swift. But everybody, the hate of Taylor Swift is just unbelievable to me. And so I'm actually feeling sorry for this young lady. The poor thing, she's in love. Travis Kelce, they're in love. They're holding hands. They're kissing on the field after the game. You know, you see them. TMZ's got pictures of them going into restaurants and holding hands. And, you know, it's a nice love story. And maybe everybody's jealous of Travis Kelce. Is that what it is? Are we jealous of Travis Kelce because he's a big-time football player, going to the Super Bowl, dating the biggest, singer on the planet? And I think we're all jealous. But I think it's getting to poor Taylor Swift. And is that going to keep her from the games? I know the NFL doesn't want to keep her from the games. They like having her there because you hear all those Swifties as she's leaving. We love you. Oh. And they like having that. They're getting a fan base that they would have never gotten otherwise. And it's good for the NFL. It's good for the Swifties. It's just you diehard football fans saying that Taylor Swift is ruining the game of football. And nothing could be farther from the truth. Now, I have to admit, when this whole thing first started, when Taylor Swift was being shown about after every timeout, after every play, and all of that, I was like, please get her off the screen. But then I started to realize I came around. I did a little flip-flop, and I came around. And I thought, well, this is good for the game. That's nice. And, we're having these nice jokes with husbands and wives, and the wives, irritating their husbands by saying that, Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map. And I thought it was kind of fun. We're all having fun with it. Now it's just getting mean. And I feel sorry for Taylor Swift. I honestly feel sorry for this young lady. And I just think we ought to all leave her alone. And we ought to start a campaign right here on the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star, free Taylor Swift. Leave her alone. What do you guys think? You don't feel sorry for her because she's rich? I do. Greg Estrada on a goes the live, shaking my head. Are you really shaking your head, Greg? I just want people put that up. Are you really shaking your head? Emojis. That's another thing we can get into. And I see a bunch of them here. I see the whole shaking my head emoji with the eyes up on this smiley face guy. And then you got Carlos saying, I wish Taylor was dating a cowboy. Maybe they would be better. And he's got the sleepy emoji. And yeah, this is Joe's edition of grinding my gears. And it does. It really grinds my gears. Rudolph Gonzalez says, I think you're acting like Greg Popovich. I'm not sure exactly what that means because I'm not telling you guys to stop booing. If you want to boo, continue on to boo. I don't care. Boo all you want. And if you want to hate Taylor Swift, hate her.
That's not who we are. Knock off the booing.
I just felt the need to come on this program today and vent a little. I never do that on this show, ever. And I just thought, well, it's time because I felt sorry for Taylor Swift. And when you hear the poor thing, I didn't do anything. And really, when you think about it, she didn't. She fell in love with a big dude, handsome guy, Travis Kelce, famous guy, big football star. I think it's a sweet love story. There'll probably be a movie made out of that before too long.
Like the longest she's been shown throughout the entirety of a football game is like a minute 20 out of 3.5 hours.
Exactly. It kind of adds a little something. And then you got Tony Romo and his thing, and we're going to be able to hear him during the Super Bowl because CBS has the Super Bowl, by the way. So, Tony Romo is going to be able to talk about the mother-in-law and the brother-in-law and the stuff. And maybe Tony knows something the rest of us don't know. Maybe they're already married. Who knows? And, hey, if you're Travis Kelce, wouldn't you want to? Although Travis Kelce's a rich dude, he doesn't hold a candle to Taylor Swift. So unless she makes him sign a huge, one of those, what do you call those things? Prenup, then he's going to be in pretty good shape. And at the worst case scenario, he's going to have a song written about him because that's Taylor Swift's MO. So I think it's great. Greg Estrada said if she didn't ruin football, she's ruining this show. Let's change the topic. Are you kidding me, Greg?
I mean,
dude, talk about a dude on a rant who's not having a very good day, apparently. Maybe you should come in here, Greg, and produce this show so we can do everything that you want. I feel a lot better.
Just him, though.
I feel a lot better. I really do. D. Douglas on our YouTube channel says the ironic thing is most of these people are too young to remember Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson had the same amount of coverage. They actually did. I can remember the camera shots of Jessica Simpson up in the
that was the old
suite.
stadium one.
Yeah, it was back at Texas Stadium, wasn't it? Sure was. Bubba Rivas says that wussy of who told Taylor Swift. I don't know what that says. That's kind of. Can you read that, Pledge? I can't read that. That wussy wouldn't have told
Taylor Swift that
gotcha,
if Travis would have been with her.
Okay. And you're probably right about that, Bubba. You guys just think about that for a moment. And I hope that it gets into you a little bit and you change your mind. Your heart melts a little bit because it really should. It should melt a little bit. You should feel happy for these two young people who are just going into just being in love.
Check out Brian Bartles.
Bartles, where is he? Brian Bartles on our YouTube channel says Joe Vince, sponsored by Quarter. Hey, I'm in. I'm in, Brian. Where do I
think that's
sign?
perfect marketing.
Where do I sign?
Because you've got something to vent about like every day.
Absolutely. Sometimes more than once.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up Tony Romo and the fact that he's going to be doing the Super Bowl. Remember when he used to predict plays and
he used to do that. And now people kind of sour on poor Tony. Some people don't like him anymore. I don't know. I know one guy that people don't like very much, and that's Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones gets blamed for a lot of things that maybe he shouldn't get blamed for. We're going to talk about that as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I want to tell you about Stevens Roofing. Proud to tell you about Stevens Roofing because they're the absolute best in the business. In fact, they are the one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. A quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing means comfort, it means confidence, it means peace of mind, protection for all of the things that you love. If you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, you want to work with the experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Commercial, residential, doesn't make any difference. They can do it all. All you have to do is call them, 210-785-0994, or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. You want to work with the best. You want to make sure your roof is done right and get a company that's going to stand behind you. That is Stevens Roofing. Call them today, 210-785-0994.
The Sports Star boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipes Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Okay. If you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO on Prize Picks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Hello, I'm Greg Figueroa.
And I'm David Figueroa. Over 30 years ago, my brother Greg and I set out on a mission to offer the world a better hot sauce.
That's right, David. We made Melinda's thicker, hotter, and better than ordinary hot sauces.
And now we have 32 exciting and delicious sauces that hot sauce fans are obsessed with, like our ghost pepper sauce, our Thai sweet chili, and our best-selling black truffle hot sauce.
Melinda's also has 5 spicy ketchups made with real sugar and no added junk like high fructose corn syrup. People ask David and I, what makes Melinda so good? That's easy. We think like chefs do. Instead of burning someone with hot peppers and vinegar, we use fresh plant-based ingredients and the finest chili peppers perfectly blended to set your mouth on flavor.
Go to melindas.com to find our line of craft condiments at Walmart and other fine retailers. And right now, get 20% off our award-winning sauces with code SPORTS at melindas.com. That's melindas.com. melindas.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you the front of the line. We're going to hike the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. So happy you could join us here on the Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix is in the courthouse somewhere trying to be on a jury. Hopefully, he will be all done by Sunday afternoon because that's when San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Las Vegas. That's right. We're going to be live from Radio Row beginning Monday morning. RJ and Rob Thompson will be live early on Monday morning. They're on Radio Row. We're going to have the best guests, the best coverage, all the stories from Vegas, and it will all be right here. AA Best Bell Bonds presents San Antonio Sports Star Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas, powered by Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and San Antonio Sports Star. Looking forward to getting on the plane on Sunday and heading to Las Vegas. That's going to be a lot of fun. Good matchup with San Francisco and Kansas City. So looking forward to that. But the Dallas Cowboys are always in the news, are they not? Because Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones made their annual trip to the Senior Bowl, which is played tomorrow, I believe. The game is tomorrow on NFL Network. And so anyway, they go there, and a lot of the Cowboys media, the folks like Clarence Hill Jr., who will join us here on the Blitz today at 3:30, by the way. So keep that in mind. But they're there, and it's a good opportunity because really they haven't had a good chance to talk to those two since that horrible loss to Green Bay. They did obviously post-game, but did not do it. And Pledge tells me the game is on Saturday. Okay. There's something tomorrow, isn't there? Maybe not. Maybe
maybe East West Shrine.
That could be, perhaps. I don't know. We'll figure it out for you. But the Senior Bowl is on Saturday, so that's where Stephen and Jerry are, and all the Cowboys media. So there was a question thrown out. I don't know if it was thrown out this morning, but it was RJ and Rob Thompson were talking about Jerry and Stephen's comments. Now, they spoke to the media yesterday. We went over a little bit of that yesterday, but we're going to dive in deeper. And I want to thank my good buddy RJ Ochoa for that, because I'm in the car headed to the gym this morning, and he was getting a little heated. I'll be honest with you. RJ was very frustrated Cowboy fan. And again, this dude is a homer big time. Jason Minix doesn't hold a candle to RJ Ochoa. And let's face it, RJ, that's his job. He's blogging with the boys. So that's what he does. He eats, breathes, and sleeps Dallas Cowboys. So he's very upset. He was one now, and I want to say this, along with my good buddy Jason Minix, who all before the Cowboys started and when they were playing well and all of this is it. This is the team. We got a great team. It could be a historic defense. You remember all the comments, all of that kind of stuff. So RJ goes into a rant, and he's talking about all the hate for Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott is really taking most of the blame for it. Well, RJ turned that around and said, well, why doesn't Jerry Jones put a good team around Dak Prescott? And I know I'm leaving some things out, but that's pretty much the gist of what he was saying. So my question to all of you, 656-3776, 656-ESPN, who is to blame for the Cowboys' woes? Is it Jerry and Stephen Jones, or is it Dak Prescott? or perhaps a combination of both. Now, Pledge and I got into a little discussion before the show talking about Jerry and his GM duties and what he should be responsible for and shouldn't be responsible for and who is responsible and who's to blame. And so we had a little pregame show before the show. And we were talking, and I have a hard time blaming Jerry Jones entirely. Now, I know everybody loves to hate Jerry Jones. That's kind of the thing to do these days. But is it really all Jerry Jones' fault? Like the conversation with Pledge and I came up to, a linebacker. Well, is Jerry supposed to go out and find a linebacker that Dan Quinn will like? Or does Dan Quinn go to Jerry Jones and say, look, I need a linebacker. Let's find somebody. They had Shaq Leonard in. He didn't want to play in Dallas, or the money wasn't right, or whatever the case may be. He goes off to Philadelphia. So who do you think is to blame for the Cowboys' woes? Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, all of the above. I'd like to know what you have to say. You can also hit me up on X or Twitter, whatever it's called these days, at Joe Reinagle 210. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there as well. Some folks are doing that right now. And again, boy, Dak is going to catch the heat. That's for sure. Hunter Hitch on our YouTube channel says, somebody please take the microphone away from Jerry Jones, walk him to his room, give him his meds, and tuck him into bed forever. Carlos is blaming Dak, saying he's just another Tony Romo. And a lot of folks are saying that. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around, but I just think the criticism of Jerry Jones this year in particular, now I'm not saying forever, but this year in particular is I don't think Jerry's to blame. I think he put a good quality team around Dak Prescott. And look, when you go out and play against the Green Bay Packers and you get your butts kicked, how is that Jerry Jones' fault? When Dak Prescott looks like crap in the first half, when Micah Parsons can't get to anybody, when that secondary can't cover anybody, when Aaron Jones runs wild, how is that Jerry Jones' fault? I just don't think it's all on Jerry Jones. I think he put a quality team. Went out and got Brandon Cooks, went out and got Stephon Gilmore. Injuries played a problem. You lose Trayvon Diggs, you lose Leighton Vander Esch. Yeah, that was a problem. But he put a good quality team around Dak Prescott this year, and Dak Prescott, once again, in the postseason, could not handle the spotlight. It's pure and simple. Pure and simple. He couldn't handle the bright lights. He has not been able to handle the bright lights. And so I'm not sure whatever you put around him. If you put Dak Prescott on that San Francisco team with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, would he have success with them? Or would he panic? Interesting discussion, and I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Again, the phone numbers, you can give us a call at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. And I thought that the comments that Jerry made, especially this one, where he just pretty much intimated that Dak has got to get better because we can only go as far as Dak takes us.
And I specifically want to make this point with y'all. It's actually a misrepresentation to ask about any one player's contract.
Yeah.
That's not the issue here.
And I guess, and again, I just proposed it last year. You were very.
Dak has done nothing to change my mind of any promise for the future. I think I said in the deal that we'd go as far as Dak takes us in the playoffs. Remember that?
Right.
We'd go as far as Dak takes us.
Right.
And that's how far we went.
Right. So.
Okay. So my point is that doesn't change a thing. Where we'll go as far as Dak takes us.
You know, that's interesting. Only go as far as Dak takes us, and you saw where he took us this year. But that doesn't change my mind. Now, Jerry admitted that they have been thinking about Dak's extension for some time now, along with everybody else, and we're going to get into that in the next segment. But both Steven and Jerry know that the fans are disappointed. And Jerry, I think you've heard it everywhere right now, said, look, the Cowboys are going to go all in this season. How are they going to do that when they're not going to have much cap room? Well, Stephen Jones came to the rescue and said he feels good about the cap.
There's a lot of roads to it, but yes, we feel really good about our cap situation.
Because you're over the cap, like 14 to 19.
What have I always said about the cap? We feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, there are ways to work around it, and Steven feels pretty good about that. Well, good for Steven. So Jerry and Steven both say they're going to take a holistic approach to the team. What in the world does that mean? Now, they're going to explain it when we return, right here on The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancer pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It is time to play Past the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold flavored protein packed Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today at HEB.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad!
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. Dayquil Kids Berry from Vicks. Dayquil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that Dayquil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
Dayquil Kids Berry. The kids' berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids. Medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
San Antonio is Aggie Country. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Everybody likes cash. I know you do. And we'll give you a chance to win a little cash. All you have to do is head to SanAntonioSportsStar.com. You want to get signed up for New Year, New Cash in 2024. It is your chance at winning $2,024. It's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is sign up at SASportsStar.com. And good luck to you. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm Joe Reinagle. This is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Jason Minix just got a text from him. Did you see that in the group chat pledge? Said it's getting interesting, is what he said. He's still there. Still nobody has been eliminated. We're going to have an extra seat on that plane on Sunday. Pledge, pack your bags, buddy. Pack your bags. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. If you're driving around San Antonio and listening on 94.1, thank you for that as well. If you are listening anywhere else, SanAntonioSportsStar.com, thank you for that. Or however you're doing it, we appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. And we've been talking a lot about Jerry Jones and whose fault is it? Is it Jerry Jones' fault, Stephen Jones' fault? Is it Dak Prescott's fault? And I'm specifically talking about this season. All right, I'm not talking about in the past, but specifically this season. 1991 Freedom Rider on the YouTube channel says, Joe, if you say it's not Jerry's fault, it's Dak's, then why is Jerry keeping Dak? Doesn't it make it Jerry's fault? That's a good point. Not a bad point. And I've said all along that I think the contract that Jerry gave Dak Prescott, which is all sided to Dak Prescott, he's got all the leverage. That is Jerry's fault. There's no question about it. That is Jerry's fault. Now, what is Jerry going to do about it? That's the interesting thing. We're going to dive into that, but I do want to go to the phone lines at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Whose fault is it? The Joneses or Dak Prescott? Let's hear what David has to say. David, welcome to the Blitz.
Hey, Joe. Happy hump day.
In my opinion, there you go. In my opinion, it starts and ends at Jerry Jones's desk. He makes the final decision on everything. Nothing gets by him that he doesn't know of. And they knew years ago, a few years back, that Van Der Esch was prone to injuries. The offensive line was prone to injuries. They could have gone out and got sufficient backups for that. We heard, and you guys reported all season long, that they were going to be run first team. Well, that didn't turn out. When they had an opportunity to go and sign Henry before the end of the trade deadline, they could have gotten him. That would have helped Dak a lot. True, I'm not saying that not everything is Jerry Jones. Dak has something to do with that. But everybody on that team, from the front office all the way down to whoever the water boy is Jerry Jones's responsibility. It starts and ends with him.
All right, David, I hear what you're saying. Let me answer some of those concerns that you have. When you say it all ends with Jerry Jones, it does. He makes those final decisions, but you can't put the blame solely on him. It is Jerry, Steven, Will McClay, all of the above. That's one thing. Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, too. All of those guys have some say-so in what's going on and what players they need. When LVE, Leighton Van Der Esch, went down, I'm sure Dan Quinn could have gone to Jerry and says, hey, man, we got to get a linebacker in there. We need some depth. We've got to have some depth at linebackers. The only way we're going to stop them. I can't imagine for the life of me, Jerry Jones would have looked at Dan Quinn and said, nah, not going to do it. Not happening. It's not in the budget. He didn't say that. Dan Quinn can get what Dan Quinn wants as long as the Cowboys can fit that under the cap and do what they can do. And if you heard Steven earlier, that's not a problem. So that I don't blame on Jerry Jones. I think the arrogance of Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, and the entire franchise, by the way, thought that they could get this done. Look, if you remember the season, they played a bunch of cupcakes most of the season. They had a cupcake-laden schedule. Did they not? They did. And they were playing well. They were getting by. And then they run into a team that was hot in the Green Bay Packers. And, well, the Cowboys thought they could just roll out there, put a star in their helmet, and it wouldn't be an issue. The Packers would just fold and fade, and it would all be gone. So what do you do from here? Look, they're stuck with Dak Prescott. They are. If they want to have any money at all to, as Jerry calls it, go all in. They got to redo his thing. They got CD Lamb coming up. What are they going to do with him, and how are they going to handle that? They've got Micah Parsons coming up. How are they going to handle that? You've got other guys. You've got Tyron Smith, who is a free agent. Do you keep him, or do you let him roll? I mean, they've got so much work to do. There's talk that they're going to restructure Trayvon Diggs's contract. Do you keep Stephon Gilmore, or did Deron Bland show you enough that you don't need it? Well, when it comes to these contracts, Jerry and Steven both were talking about it. We're asked about it. And Steven, first of all, both Jerry and Steven said they're going to take a holistic approach to that. Now, full transparency, I had to look that up and figure out what that was. I did, but I didn't realize that Steven explains it.
It's why it's real hard to answer a question about a player in particular when you're taking an overall view of your team. You've got to make some hard decisions in some areas, and then you might be more aggressive in other areas. And does that, in our mind, make us feel good about that's going to make us better, not only to repeat what we've done in the regular season, but then take the next step in the postseason. And I think you have to look at it as a whole. You have to put the draft into the mix. What's it going to be like? You have to look at the players you want to keep, the players you want to make some hard decisions on. And then, are there ways that you, just like we did last year, it wasn't necessarily free agency, it was trades. It was, trading for Cooks, trading for Gilmore. We thought they really did a nice job for us this year and made us better. But we've got, those are things that you put it all all together and say, who are the guys available for trade? Who are the guys, that we might could do well in free agency with? Who are the guys would we rather just keep these young players, that we have? So you have to look at the big picture. You can call it big picture. You can look at full body of work. You can call it holistic. There's a lot of terms for it, but it's hard to, especially this time of year. It'll come up on us. It'll come up on us here when free agency starts, and we have to, have the cap situation where we want it. But that's why we're not there yet, and why we'll continue to have great dialogue amongst the decision makers on this football team.
It's going to be interesting, and I understand what he's saying. And look, every time Steven and Jerry approach a microphone, they're going to be talking about not one particular contract, but everybody. And if you notice how they put it, it's kind of like, well, we got to sign this guy. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it's all a message. It's a message to Dak Prescott. It's a message to CeeDee Lamb. It's a message to Micah Parsons. It's a message to everybody that is going to get a contract this year, who they're going to keep, who they're not. Hey, do you want to win or do you want to be the richest quarterback in the NFL? And look, they're doing that. Everybody plays that game. There's no question about it. And that's why both Steven and Jerry explain the holistic approach, because it's not just one guy, it's all the guys. So Jerry was asked if he had changed his stance on his quarterback, Dak Prescott.
I'm unequivocal about it right now.
Okay.
I'm unequivocal about it right now. We've got a lot of contract work to do. Okay, I'm equivocal about all of the contracts. I can be unequivocal about all the contracts, but we're going to have to adjust all contracts or to get as many of the very players that you could ask me about singly under the contract. So I'm really trying to give you a straight answer. I won't be addressing at any time here one contract, one player at all. That is not, let me emphasize, and I'm in a plural, that is not in any way being iffy about any player that we've got, whether it be Lamb, Parsons, Prescott, Smith, you name them. That's not being unequivocal. Okay, the facts are that it's obvious who your top players are. It's obvious who the players we want back would be. Obvious. It's very obvious here in my mind. And so anything I've said, like last year, I said we see a picture of him going forward for many years. That's live and well. Yes, we sure do. But we've got a lot of contracts to address.
Yeah, because the only reason we talk about him is because it's cap, $59 million cap figure. It impacts what you can do with other guys. You have to decide.
But for me to make an answer that you want to hear, I have to say we've got a lot of work to do on every one of these guys' contracts. And if you don't get it worked out on certain contracts, it would change this answer.
Where does the work
change this answer?
Where does the work start on Dak's contract?
We've have been doing a lot of the work we do for the last 2 years.
When you look at roster turnover,
In other words, there's been a lot of work done on. We didn't just get here and land here after we got beat by Green Bay. Well, I'm not trying to be trite, but what we did regarding our big challenge in this offseason in terms of making all of what we can do work under the cap, that's work's been going on for years. There's not one figure or one number or one set of circumstances that I'll consider or will be looking at that I wasn't thinking about this time last year. Not one.
Not one, he says. But he's got to be equivocal, he said, right? I mean, he's got to be thinking about everybody, not just one. And he's not going to talk about one contract. And it's interesting. I love the comments we're getting on the YouTube page, and I invite your comments, whether it's on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. If you want to give us a call and express your opinion, 656-3776, or if you're watching on YouTube, Miguel Martinez says, Parsons can wait until next year. Yes, he can. But Micah Parsons has shown me this year that he's an extremely selfish football player. What makes you think Micah Parsons won't come up to Jerry and say, I want to get paid this year, or I'm going to hold out? It's a possibility. Other players have done that. Zeke Elliott, for one, before it was their time. So I don't know that would happen. Don't know that it won't happen. but it could. So I'm not sure you can wait on Micah Parsons. I'm not sure that Micah Parsons will wait. You got to keep that in mind. DeMarvion Overshown is another guy. Yeah, hopefully he can stay healthy. That was a big blow to the Cowboys because I think they have a lot of confidence in that guy. That's for sure. So he will certainly help that linebacking core. And Mozzie Smith, hopefully he'll take a step up as well. So Jerry says all of that. They all say they understand the fans' doubt in the team. But when he talks about that, and he never goes one way or the other. So the follow-up question to what Jerry just said was, are you giving Dak an extension or not?
Well, let's be real clear. I don't even want to answer the question. Okay. I would let everybody say, you can just assume that. You can just assume that right there. What I'm really saying is I'm not going to be discussing any part of it because it looks like that's an issue. Okay, when it's not. It's the entire thing and the balancing of the entire thing. And we're going to have to go get some people that are out of contract that you could ask the question. Can we assume that Martin's here? Can we assume that any of these guys are here? Well, you can sure assume it. And so that's what I'm saying. It's looking like that you might have to have a consideration when in fact I'm considering every player we got's contract and having to adjust maybe before it's over a high percentage of the contracts. Because what's happened, let me be real clear, is because you have such a group of high profile players, you're having to really put more an emphasis on your entire salary cap available room. Okay, because you're well aware, and I know that you are trying to address the point that between Parsons, Lamb, Dak, and others, that you're going to be putting some things in place that are pretty impactful down the line.
Especially with the cap.
But does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
No, it doesn't.
It is wrong to go to any contract and say, well, is that not an emphasis point of a contract for you? Because it's wrong. That's not right. It's the entire, how we balance the entire, able to get it all or get as much of it as we can under the wire.
You know, it's interesting. And a lot of what Jerry says is gibberish. I mean, it really is, right? I mean, he tries to make a good point. He tries to be open with the media, but it's a lot of it is gibberish, and it's just all over the place. He doesn't want to talk about Dak Prescott's contract because he wants Dak to take a team-friendly deal. He does. I mean, what owner wouldn't? They all want their biggest guys to take a team-friendly deal. Dak Prescott has not shown that he is willing to do that, at least not to this point. Now, whether he'll do it now or not remains to be seen. I don't think he will because, look, let's face it, Dak Prescott's going to be 31 years old. If he gets a 4 or 5 year contract, this is probably the best he's going to do for the rest of his career in the NFL. So why wouldn't you try to go all in contract-wise if you're Dak Prescott and try to get as much as you possibly can before you're on the backside of your career? I think, look, 31 to 35-year-old quarterbacks can still perform at a very high level. In fact, a lot of them, they waited until that age to be the best that they ever were. So there's always hope for Dak Prescott to improve. But when you're talking about a $57 million a year contract, which is probably, if you see any kind of extension, is what Dak Prescott is going to be, it's going to blow people's minds. I mean, it's just going to blow your mind. It's certainly going to blow mine, and I'm going to have a big problem with it, but it may be what the Cowboys have to do because Jerry Jones has put himself in this position as general manager of this Dallas Cowboys football team when it comes to Dak Prescott, he has put himself in this position. No trade clause, no franchise tag clause, and he counts $59 million against the cap. So Dak Prescott has Jerry Jones over a barrel. Were we talking about glory holes? Didn't think we were.
I want me some glory holes.
Yeah, well, so does Dak.
It is the
for that matter.
absolute glory hole.
Yeah, Dak wants some as well, and he's got you over a barrel, Jerry. Now, Jerry's got a couple of options there. He can just restructure the deal and kind of push the can down the road a little bit. Dak's still going to get his money, or he can just let him play it out. But again, if you're going to go all in, Jerry, as you say you are, that's probably not the way to do it, unfortunately, because I'm not a big fan of that. But the Cowboys have done absolutely nothing for a plan B. That is too bad for the Dallas Cowboys. And again, I will say it again now. I'll say it again an hour from now, 2 hours from now, tomorrow, and next week. The Cowboys' window is closed. Maybe there's a little crack. Their window was wide open this year, wide open. It was the best opportunity the Dallas Cowboys had to get back to the Super Bowl, and they flat out blew it because their quarterback can't handle the pressure. Neither can their defense. Neither could their coaches. Nobody did. And they all thought arrogantly, as the Cowboys are, they could walk into Texas or the Jerry world, and the Green Bay Packers would just go, oh, it's the Dallas Cowboys. That's what they thought because that's how they played. And they got their butts kicked, and they deserved it. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, though, we've been talking a lot about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I'm going to leave Taylor out of this next conversation and just talk a little bit about Travis Kelce because he called Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker an effing Richard. The nickname Richard, if you guys know what I mean. Travis will explain why he did that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown!
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the UFC fights. And when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Celebrating 10 years in business, the Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hello, I'm Greg Figueroa.
And I'm David Figueroa. Over 30 years ago, my brother Greg and I set out on a mission to offer the world a better hot sauce.
That's right, David. We made Melinda's thicker, hotter, and better than ordinary hot sauces.
And now we have 32 exciting and delicious sauces that hot sauce fans are obsessed with, like our ghost pepper sauce, our Thai sweet chili, and our best-selling black truffle hot sauce.
Melinda's also has 5 spicy ketchups made with real sugar and no added junk like high fructose corn syrup. People ask David and I, what makes Melinda so good? That's easy. We think like chefs do. Instead of burning someone with hot peppers and vinegar, we use fresh plant-based ingredients and the finest chili peppers perfectly blended to set your mouth on flavor.
Go to melindas.com to find our line of craft condiments at Walmart and other fine retailers. And right now, get 20% off our award-winning sauces with code SPORTS at melindas.com. That's melindas.com. melindas.com.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, Dan Quinn may be coming back to the Cowboys after all. There is only one opening left in the NFL, according to reports. Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald is going to be the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. That leaves the Washington Commanders as the last team standing. Spurs return to action tonight. Their homestand continues. They'll take on the Orlando Magic inside the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day. Here we go. Yeah. It is hump day. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I love Wednesdays.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Who was it, Pledge? Which one? Who was the camel? Who was Joe?
You.
You can't tell. You can't tell. It's gotten that good. I love Wednesdays, by the way. It's just one of those great days. It's just kind of get over the hump. You slide into the weekend, and it's just a good day. Plus, I really like that camel. That dude is all right. I think Geico's got to bring the guy back, right? They're bringing the caveman back, and they got to bring the camel back somehow, some way, because it looks like what they're doing is kind of like a reunion, right? And they're irritating the caveman because they're propping up the little lizard guy, and so the camel's got to come back. Got to come back. What's that?
You mean Caleb?
Yes. Yes, he's got to come back. Dude, when you put that, can you guys put that on the screen, that deal? Because I want you guys to just look at this camel and tell me how you don't fall in love with this guy. I mean, honestly. I mean, honestly, the guy is perfect. He's happy about the day. He's walking into the office with a smile on his face, little pep in his step.
Hump day.
Hump day. And it's just fantastic. They got to bring this thing back. Now, of all the Geico commercials, this has to be the best. And everybody dreads the poor guy because he's so happy.
Guess what day it is?
Why do people hate happy people? All the guy wants everybody to say is, hump day.
Hump day.
That's all he wants to do. I love that camel. He says, yeah. Oh, it is a great day. And that's that camel. I mean, look at that dude. He's just a handsome fella.
I think we learned from your rant in the first hour that just people don't like things that make people happy.
Apparently not. And we're talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and the love story that is. Everybody hating on poor Taylor Swift, saying she's ruining football. It's ridiculous. I feel sorry for her. I really do. And apparently Travis Kelce is feeling sorry for her as well. Let's do the headline blitz, play.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Have you heard about this Travis Kelce and Justin Tucker drama? Well, the Outkick is calling it a dust-up and saying it continues. And it was funny because I saw the video of it. It's all over social. And if you haven't seen it, you ought to see it. But it's Travis Kelce gets upset because Patrick Mahomes is warming up pregame. And Justin Tucker, the Baltimore Ravens place kicker, is got all his stuff there on the Kansas City side of the field. Well, I guess Justin Tucker thought, hey, dude, this is my house.
The Ravens have their side of the field.
Well, Kelce's throwing his helmet off and throwing his tees off and all of this thing, and he calls him an effing Richard. I don't know how else to say that on family radio, but sometimes the nickname for a guy named Richard is, well, you know what it is. Well, Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce still doing their podcast. What's the name of the podcast, Pledge?
The New Heights Podcast.
New Heights Podcast. Well, Travis explained the dust-up.
We'll start off with pregame. Everybody talked about it. Everybody had videos on it. It was all over Twitter. I was at the game.
I
And
love how
people
I'm getting
texted
painted
me.
as the bad guy.
Oh, you're definitely getting paid as a bad guy. I had multiple people text me in the game, middle of the game, like, what's Travis doing? Why is Travis doing it? And I'm like, dude, you guys have no idea. We're going to get to it right now. Justin Tucker is warming up, and there's an exchange between you and him. There was also an exchange between Pat and Justin Tucker before that as well during warmups.
It wasn't even that. But so we're warming up, and we do our same warm up every single time on our side of the field. For those of you that don't know what happens in pre-games, the Ravens have their side of the field, and the Chiefs have our side of the field. Now, specialists, because of like the wind factor and
they go to
where
both
you are,
sides
they get
in
a
warm-up.
chance to kick at both field goals and kind of punt from both sides of the field. But it's always, if you're trying to go onto the other team's designated area, you kind of stay out of their way. You know, you don't interfere with what they have going on.
That is the unwritten rule.
That's the unwritten rule. If you want to be a about it, you keep your helmet and your football and your kicking tee right where the quarterbacks are warming up, and they're dropping. Eyes are looking left, and they got a helmet down by their feet.
It's actually kind of dangerous, really. But
like, if you're not going to pick that up, I'll happily move that for you. Justin came out and he said it was more of a joking gesture and kind of a fun competitive. And I get it. I mean, he was kind of winking at me, like being a about it, like trying to get under the skin.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
I get it, but
you got to understand a little bit.
Me and Pat, we've been having the same mentality for this game all week long, man.
Yeah.
And it was you got to go in there and have the right mind frame, have the right mindset, and we just weren't in a joking mood. We were ready to get after it. And so, Justin, sorry if we took it to a level that you didn't think it'd get to that play, but if you're going to be a I promise you, I can one-up you every time, dude.
Tucker's known for this. I mean, he's a legendary kicker, and he knows how to poke the buttons.
Arguably the best we've ever seen in the NFL, man.
Oh, no, I don't even know if it's arguable at this point. I mean, and he does this, and there's other kickers that'll do it too, other punters. You know, it's definitely unwritten that you stay out of the way of the other team when they're trying to utilize the field. You find a way to work on the other side of the field when it makes sense. That's part of the game in the game, and you could tell he's playing it in these clips. You can see his facial expressions. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Don't paint me as the bad guy, all right?
He got under your skin. Right? He got under your skin, and listen, it it worked. It got under your skin, but it worked in the wrong way because it was a record day for the Yeti. T-Rav led all receivers with 11 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. It was probably one of your best performances I've ever seen, which is crazy because you've had some unbelievable ones.
Wow. I love those guys. Those guys are great. That podcast is great. And I love the fact that there's this little dust-up, a little trash talking before the game started. And Travis Kelce just taking care of his quarterback. That's what he's doing. But you see you see what's happening to Travis Kelce now. He's getting the Swiftie treatment. People are hating on him now. They're probably going to be yelling at him that he's ruining football. Oh, my goodness. What's going on here? I don't know. But I'm glad he cleared that up because it was quite the dust up and quite the story over the last couple of days. So thanks for clearing that up, Travis. We appreciate that. And, some guys just are that, what he called them. Sometimes they just act like that, and that's kind of what they are. A lot of drama going on with the New York Jets. In fact, there's a story on Awful Announcing that Robert Saleh, the Jets head coach, reportedly threatened to take coaches' phones away at one point in time in a bid to identify leaks. There were a lot of leaks coming out of the Jets headquarters. And there's a quote in there that says, if you come forward now, you're not going to get in trouble. There's also a story out that says that Aaron Rodgers and the MILF hunter, Zach Wilson, started off great. And then their relationship kind of faded down at the end of what happened. It must not be too bad because, look, Aaron Rodgers is supposedly coming back to the Jets. And same offensive coordinator, same coaching staff, basically the same team intact. So we'll see if that happens or gets any better. But do you notice a pattern here? Aaron Rodgers is the one guy that is the same and just kind of screwing everything up. You talk about an effing Richard. I mean, this guy is that for sure at times. So we'll see how the New York Jets season goes. And got some, yeah. Maybe time for you to ride off into the sunset, buddy. I don't know. Sad news today. Our good buddy John McClain, who comes on with us on the Blitz here every Thursday to talk Houston Texans and all things Houston and really the NFL, sent out a tweet today that says, Friday is my last day at Sports Radio 610 in Houston. Apparently he's been laid off. And I don't know if it's because the football season is over or other things, but he went on to talk about how many articles he writes, how many radio shows he does, podcasts he does. I really like this guy. Look, John McClain's a legend. He'll always be a legend and probably doesn't need the job. He works there because he wants to. He worked 42 years at the Houston Chronicle. So the man is a legend in the city of Houston. But it is sad. When I saw that tweet, I was very sad about it. Then as I'm looking at the website, the Barrett Sports Media website, it says that former Cowboy Patrick Creighton is back on Sports Radio 610 in Houston. Not the same guy?
Not the same guy. Patrick Creighton is a host that used to work there, not the former Cowboy receiver.
It is spelled differently now that I look at it. Okay. Fair enough. But they fired John. That just ended my whole rant.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I'm glad you cleared that up. Patrick Creighton back on the radio. Congratulations to him. But is that a coincidence? The fact that now John McClain is not. We'll ask John McClain about it tomorrow if he wants to talk about it or not. But he will join us here on the Blitz tomorrow afternoon at about 5:15. So sorry, John McClain. His last day is Friday. Go read his stuff. What is it, 610.com, I believe, or the Utopia podcast. He's got all that stuff. John McClain's just a good guy, and I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow. So there's that. That's the headline Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And Pledges just put that up. Yeah, that's not Patrick Creighton, not the guy I was thinking about.
There's a little bit of a dichotomy between the two.
Well, there is, because the picture of Patrick Creighton, the Cowboy player, is much fitter than Patrick Creighton, the radio guy, and that's typically the way it works. Yeah, he's a little bit of a chunkster, isn't he? A little bit. So So I'm sure he's very good at what he does. He's going to be doing a show, I think, from 6 to 10 at night or 7 to. Anyway, I feel bad for John McClain, who was laid off from Sports Radio 610. Lots to talk about. Did you guys see the Joel Embiid injury last night? He was playing, kind of fell to the floor. Somebody rolled over on his knee. Looks like it was hyperextended. They're going to have an MRI at some point in time, but apparently he's had this knee has been an issue. Well, all of a sudden, that particular injury is calling into question the NBA's new 65-game rule. What do you guys think? Draymond Green has an opinion on that. We'll hear from Draymond as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here! Not up in here!
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Guys, Synergenics can help you conquer your New Year's resolutions if your resolutions was to get out and do more and get off the couch. If you are dealing with a lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido, these could all be caused by low T levels. Your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, that could be caused by low T. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And with the convenience of their on-site lab at Synergenics, you get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. So book an appointment online right now at the website fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
When a cold comes on strong, try DayQuil's Severe Honey Flavor. The daytime, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down. Get back to your day feeling relieved, enjoying the delicious flavor of DayQuil Severe Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey Flavor soothes your symptoms with a delicious taste. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury perfection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the PrizePick app and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO on PrizePicks for your first deposit. They'll match up to $100. PrizePicks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram set to join us here in about, about 15 minutes or so. He was right there with Jerry and Stephen Jones yesterday at the Senior Bowl asking all the pertinent questions. I want to get his thoughts and see what he thinks about what they said. If he can figure it out, maybe he can. Some of us cannot. But that's okay. So Clarence Hill will join us here coming up in about 15 minutes or so. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnick's jury duty today, and apparently he's still at the courthouse this afternoon waiting to see if he's going to be selected as a juror. I got a text from him a few minutes ago saying he's still there, and they haven't eliminated anybody yet. So I just hope he remembers that we're leaving for Las Vegas on Sunday. So if he gets stuck on a jury, Pledge, pack your bags, buddy.
Next man up, baby.
Yep, you and me will be doing the Blitz from 2 to 6 out in Vegas next week. So Jason can run the controls. Him and Edwin. Glad you're along with us. However you're listening, if you're listening on YouTube, thank you for that. Be sure and hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. Thumb it, right? That's kind of whatever the cool kids say. Our bosses kind of like that stuff. And if you want to chime in there, you can do that. You can give us a call at 656-3776, 656-ESPN on a variety of subjects. But I wanted to talk about the NBA 65 game rule. I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you're not, I'll give you a quick synopsis. To be eligible for any postseason award, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, name one, you have to play at least 65 games of the 82-game schedule in the NBA. Now, the NBA put that in place to stop people from load management because a lot of players, coaches would sit their players, and a lot of them would do it, especially if you're in the West and you're playing, say, Boston coming to San Antonio, and, they want to rest Jason Tatum. And that's who the fans came to see. So the NBA is trying to put a stop to some of that. And really, I'll be honest with you, and whether he wants to take credit or not, Greg Popovich kind of started this trend with Tim Duncan. So it became a trend, and it really kind of grew and got out of control, and fans were upset, and rightly so. So the NBA is trying to put a stop to it. Well, last night, Joel Embiid hurt his knee, and he's been battling a knee injury, although Nick Nurse, the Philadelphia head coach, says it's not the same knee that's been bothering him, but he's scheduled to have an MRI today at some point in time to see how badly he's hurt. Well, a lot of people are screaming it's because of the 65-game rule. That's why they rushed him back too soon, and because, look, he is the odds-on favorite for the MVP as we stand right now. Now, if he's hurt for a long period of time, certainly that could change, But as we stand right now, Joel Embiid would most likely be the NBA MVP. So a lot of people are criticizing the 65-game rule, including the Warriors' Draymond Green.
Joel playing tonight felt very much so because of the 65-game limit. Well, I think it's actually quite bullshit. Guys didn't face those rules before, but those same all-NBA teams, those same MVP awards lists, Defensive Player of the Year, those lists are the same. I once lost a Defensive Player of the Year award to Kawhi Leonard, and I think he played 51 games. In turn, you get Joel, who comes out there tonight and he forces it. And Freak played with him and JK diving for the ball, but maybe it's not as bad if the knee isn't already banged up. I don't really bang with it. And now we got one of our premier faces in this league, the MVP of our league, possibly hurt for an extended period of time because he's forcing it.
Because he's forcing it. Maybe, I don't know, he's not forcing it. Maybe he just wants to play. You know, athletes from the beginning of time have played through injury. And if you watch the video of this, Joel Embiid is hustling like he always does. He's a good player. Hustling, he's down on the floor, grabbing a loose ball, and a player falls on his knee. And it really looks like, when you look at the video, it's tough to watch, but it's hyperextended. Could happen to anybody. Could be game one. Much less whatever game we're in now, 50-something, 40-something. I mean, it happens. I'm quite frankly surprised when you watch an NBA basketball game that there are not more turned ankles and all kinds of stuff every single game, the way these guys are intertwined the way they are. The 65-game rule is fantastic. I have no issue. In fact, I am happy that Adam Silver finally did something to stop these guys from their load management, their rest nights. I mean, these guys are the finest athletes on the planet, NBA players. In my mind, I don't know who's better, who's in more shape, who are better athletes than NBA players. I don't know. I'm convinced there's not. I think they're the best. Why can't they play 65 games in an 82-game schedule? Why can't they play 82 games for that matter? I mean, these guys are coddled. They're and by that, that's not a derogatory statement. They fly charters. They stay in the best hotels there is. They eat the best food. Everything is taken care of for them. Now, they have to take care of their bodies and stay in shape, but why can't they play a full schedule? Now, look, if you're legitimately hurt, I understand. I get it. But obviously the doctors of the Philadelphia 76ers did not think that Joel Embiid was hurt to the point where he couldn't go out and play. And again, I will just say this. Athletes have been playing hurt since the beginning of time. It happens. It happens, and they play through it, and they get the job done. I like the 65-game rule. What do you guys think? I'd like to hear your comments, whether you're on YouTube or whether you want to give us a call, or on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210 or 656-3776. Pledge has got up on the board there. We got some breaking news. What is it, Pledge? You tell me, because I don't see it.
Well, in our WhatsApp chat, we've got an update from the courthouse.
Oh, we do? Okay. Let's see. Jason Minix did not get picked. You know, I guarantee you this guy was worried about Sunday, and he stood up and said, hang him. Hang the guy. He's guilty as hell. And if he didn't do that, he should have. You walk in the courtroom, just say, hump day. That dude's crazy. We don't want him. So Jason Minix not picked. So sorry, Pledge. You can unpack your bag. You don't get to go. Sorry about that. There were a lot of folks on YouTube rooting for you, Pledge. Lots of them. Alexandra was rooting for you. And a lot of other people were as well. So you got a fan club, Pledge. That's nice. Are you trying to talk to me or somebody else? Oh, somebody else. I see Pledge in there on the YouTube channel talking with his headphones on, and I guess the phone rang, huh? All right. Well, there were a lot of people rooting for you, Pledge.
Yay!
Just letting you know. So they were pulling for you. All right, Clarence Hill, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, is going to join us next here on the Blitz. He was there and still is, as a matter of fact, at the Senior Bowl, the site of it. He talked with both Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones yesterday. I want to get his thoughts on what they meant, what he thinks they meant, and where do we go from here if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan or a member of the Dallas Cowboys management team. What are you going to do to try and put a quality football team on the field for the 2024 season? We'll do that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First of all, I've got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. I want to ask you a question. Are you fed up with the same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about, those endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth, temporary fixes that never seem to stick. Well, I've got the answer for you. It's called Doctor's Implants. At Doctor's Implants, they're board-certified oral and facial surgeons. They're ready to transform your smile. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Look, don't let old school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full-mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. Check them out for yourself at doctorsimplants.com. But here's the kicker. When you call them at 210-640-0000 and tell them that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, you're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants, so don't wait. Call them today, 210-640-0000.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix has escaped the Bexar County Courthouse. He will not be picked for the jury. And so he lucked out there because we're headed to Vegas on Sunday for the Super Bowl. And he gets stuck in a courtroom and on a jury that might have lasted a while. So the guy got lucky, and he's out and about and a free man. So that's good. We'll look forward to seeing him tomorrow. Right now, though, I look forward to talking to this guy, Clarence Hill Jr. with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, joining us courtesy of Buyers Barricade Guest Line. And Clarence, you're still up at the Senior Bowl location, are you not?
I am still at the Senior Bowl location.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of things. We're watching video of Devondre Sweat. The guy's incredible. Have you been watching this guy?
Incredible.
I mean, he's a big dude.
He's incredible. He's incredible.
He's
incredible.
Yeah, the guy is incredible. Okay, yesterday you guys had a pretty good time with Steven and Jerry Jones. I guess I'll call it a good time. I'm not sure. A lot of things to dive into with what they said, Clarence, and maybe you can make some sense out of it. But Jerry says we're going all in this year. What the world does he mean by that?
No one knows what he means. No one knows. No one knows what he means because, I guess in the past, and I was going to ask the question. In the past, the Cowboys have tried to serve two masters. They've tried to win, Senegal on him. They tried to win, shopping at the market based on bins because they're also trying to plan for the future and balance the budget. We don't want to get in cap hell. Yeah, we want to win, but we're only going to go so much because. We're only going to go so much because we don't want to get into cap hell. They want to overspend. And Jerry made a point that we're going all in and planning for the future won't be part of the equation. Now, talking to Steven, he didn't really co-sign on that plan because he said we're always going all in, which again is that's where we are because what does going all in mean? Does that mean signing Dak, CD, and Micah, or does that mean going out and signing, King Henry? And go and get a big time free agent. That part remains to be seen.
Well, yeah, and it does, and I think Cowboy fan would be happy with a guy like Derrick Henry just to help out with short yardage stuff, if nothing else.
Right.
But don't they have to get the Dak deal done, the CD deal done before they can start thinking about any of that other stuff?
Not necessarily. They don't have to because they can, kick the can down the road, so to speak. They can restructure Dak's contract and add some dummy years, and he'll still be on the same deal. They can actually sign CD to a new deal and lower his cap figure. He's on the $17 million fifth-year option. So if they can theoretically sign him to a new deal, they can lower his cap figure, save some money. The problem is the Cowboys are right now $19 million over the cap. And whether that's Dak, CD, they have to do some things to adjust the contracts to get under the cap before they even start about adding people to the team.
Clarence, do you think they would tag CD?
Well, he's not free, and he's on a fifth-year option. So
okay.
that's not on the table. That's not on the table right now. So he's not free.
Okay, gotcha.
The thing about C, the question is though, if he wants a new deal, he's maximized his opportunities, and I don't know if he's going to come into camp per se without a new deal. And I don't think he's going to come in and play on the fifth-year option, and he may hold out for his new deal.
Wow. Well, obviously that's never a good thing. So he doesn't want to wait till the end of this fifth year to get it done because probably worried that they might throw the franchise tag on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's always out there for sure. Once you get to that point, but it's time to get paid now. You had your big year. It's time to get paid now.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. We're visiting with Clarence Hill here from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. And Clarence, obviously, a lot of the talk continues to be about Dak Prescott and what they're going to do with him. Jerry was very confusing because, it was Jerry's comments about we only go as far as Dak takes us. He says that, and then he turns right around and says that there's no doubt that he's our quarterback or something to that effect. Is he trying to send a message to Dak?
It's funny. How are you going all in, but you're hesitant on committing that we're going to sign Dak to an extension, which it doesn't make any sense. The problem is that, Jerry again talks out of both sides of his mouth. I don't think he wants to paint himself into a corner. Dak's contract is paramount. That, a year ago at the Senior Bowl, we were here, and Jerry and Steven, whether they were trying to pump up Dak after a bad season with those 15 interceptions, but they both were very bullish on Dak's our quarterback for the next 10 years. Yes, we want to sign him to an extension. We know what the cap figure is. We have to get that cap figure down. We're all in on Dak Prescott. Now, we fast forward to this year, we're at the Senior Bowl, and we're asking him about Dak in that contract, and do you want to get a deal done to save, to piggyback on what you said last year and certainly lower that cap figure, and they don't want to talk contract. We're not talking about a contract. We have we're looking at the holistic approach to the team. So there's a difference, and ultimately they say, yes, we love Dak. We still believe everything about him and our future, but they don't want to talk about the contract. That doesn't jive.
No, it doesn't jive. And I have to believe that Jerry and Steven are playing, games with Dak and saying we got to sign all these other guys. And obviously they would love for him to sign a team-friendly deal. But as I've been saying here, Clarence, and I don't know if you agree with this, but this could very well be Dak's last chance at a big contract.
Well, I disagree because I guarantee you, and that's the game the Cowboys are really playing with themselves because, number one, Dak has all the leverage. He has no trade clause.
Sure.
They can't franchise it. And sure, Cowboy fans are disillusioned, frustrated with the 2-5 playoff record. But I guarantee you, if Dak hits the market, Dak's going to get paid. Whether it's Pittsburgh or somewhere else, Dak's going to get a deal. He's going to get out. They're going to be teams going to scoop him up in New York minutes. And that's the problem the Cowboys have is, if you don't sign him to an extension, what's your alternative? And Jerry does not want to get back on that quarterback abyss that they were between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. But if you don't sign him to extension, you go into the last year, and Dak could very well have 36 touchdowns again, whether he succeeds in the playoffs or not, have a big year, now there's no guarantee he stays, and you have no leverage to keep it. And then he's out there for an open bidding war among teams that would appreciate a quarterback like Dak Prescott. Cowboy fans, and we can talk about how bad Dak has been, but I can show you some locales that would love to have Dak Prescott, have much worse quarterback situations. So kind of that's where they are. Dak has much leverage, and we can say we want about whether they should go all in and commit to a guy who hasn't won and show they can win the playoffs. But again, what's the alternative? You can say you can draft one, but there's a lot of Sam Darnolds out there. More Sam Darnolds out there in the draft, at the top of the draft, than Patrick Mahomes.
You see, that's what happens. Clarence Hill Jr. from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. You're just thinking I'm talking bad about Dak because you know me, right? And that's what I know.
No, I'm not. Listen, into the season, I cannot go anywhere. Because, Cowboy fans are disillusioned and frustrated. And I'm not saying that's you, but people want blood. They want change for change's sake. Just do something. They're mad that they brought Mike McCarthy back. They're mad at Dak. He don't deserve to go to the Pro Bowl. All of this stuff. It's all over the place. So no, I'm just laying out the realistic situation that the Cowboys face. It's a real discussion. It's a real situation. I think it's all on the table. Whether they sign him or whether they let him, they risk losing him and let him go into his last year playing on the last year of his contract like Mike McCarthy. But those are the risks you're taking.
No doubt about it. My point, though, was that Dak has no reason to give Jerry a team-friendly deal because I think if you're Dak Prescott, you're looking at this, whether it's a 4 or 5 year deal. The guy, by the time this would be over, 35, 36 years old, this could be his last opportunity to really get a big-time deal, whether that's with Dallas or somebody else.
Let me address one thing. What's the team-friendly deal? The going rate for quarterbacks is $45-50 billion.
Right.
I don't know what can we get caught up into team-friendly? That's what it is. Kirk Cousins is out there saying he wants $90 million for 2 years, no matter where he goes. Okay, Daniel Jones is making Dak Prescott money right now. The money's only going to continue to go up. It is what it is. The cap is going to go up. I don't know if it's the idea that Dak is going to take less money is even on the table. He's not taking less money. Michael Parsons not taking less money. We saw Zach Martin wasn't taking less money. He held down the cap. That's not, I guess the whole conversation about team friendly, I don't think that's realistic. That's what I'm addressing.
Clarence Hill with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram joining us here on the Buyers Barricade guest line. Now, Clarence, Dan Quinn, there's only one job left. The Commanders say that he had a great interview, his second interview. Do you think he gets that job, or do you think he's back with the Cowboys?
Look at the options. Either the Commanders want an experienced guy or they want a new guy. And I guess the musical chairs, there's only one chair left, and everybody thought Dan was locked in Seattle. And they went with a young guy, and certainly I know Dan interviews well. We see him at press conference. Dan is a great interviewer. And he's going to say the right thing. It's just a matter of, do you look what happened in Atlanta? Do you look what happened against Green Bay and say, is this what we want, or we want new blood? And I know from a Cowboys standpoint, there are so many people who are quietly hoping he gets that job. But the Cowboys are going to say the right things, and that they would want Dan back, but that scheme has to be fixed.
So do you think the scheme gets fixed? What went wrong in your mind, Clarence, when it comes to either the Green Bay game or there were several games in the second half of the season where that defense didn't show up?
Well, they weren't built to stop the run. You sign a guy like Monty Smith, and the Cowboys are saying all the right things, but quietly, no one told Monty to lose weight. And go from a 330-pound nose tackle run stop behemoth to under 300 pounds. They draw draft night. I remember distinctly them openly talking about Mozzie coming in and being a run stopper and fixing their run defense. And then he doesn't do that. And then you have Leighton Vander Esch entry, but there also was a defense that was built on the base defense was three safeties. This defense was built to play with their lead. It was not built, for first and second down run defense even before Leighton Vander Esch got hurt. They moved Marquise Bell to safety in training camp. Not after Leighton Vander Esch got hurt. And They moved Marquise Bell from safety to linebacker training camp. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So they were already planning to go light and play a nickel type scheme because we're going to have a lead and we're going to rush the quarterback. Well, one thing they've learned in the playoffs, and one thing they learned over the course of the season, you have to run the ball, you have to stop run to be successful and really go far.
When you look at the Cowboys' future, Clarence, and I want to end on this. I mean, obviously there's a lot of places that they need to improve. Offensive line, running game, obviously is there. What do you think the priority is going to be going into the draft this year?
That's the question. Because the offensive line is paramount. You don't know what you're going to do at center. You don't know what you're doing at left tackle. Certainly, you have to get better in linebacker. I can't see them drafting linebackers high, but we're talking about the 24th pick. I think that the offensive line, left tackle, or something like that is in play.
Do you think they draft a running back in this draft?
Oh, most definitely. I think they draft a running back, and hopefully they pair him with somebody like King Henry and go from there, because you need more than one, but they definitely have to improve their running game.
So you think Derrick Henry's in play?
I don't know. I know he worked out in Dallas, lived in Dallas. Again, it's about the money. I don't think they're going to pay, $10 million for a running back. I don't know what the market is for a guy like Derrick Henry, but he's somebody that they should be looking at. They have to improve their running game. They have to get better. And again, the thing that gives them hope is you look at, if we can say one, Dak Prescott is as good or can do what Brock Purdy and Jared Goff does and get you to the championship game if you have a defense, if you have a running game, if you have other things around it. You can't say, hey, Dak, it's all on you. Be Patrick Mahomes and be that type of guy and carry it.
It's a great point, and a lot of we've had that discussion here, and even with you before that. Dak needs some players around him, as do most quarterbacks. Clarence Hill Jr. with the Fort Worth Star Telegram. Look, Clarence, I promise you, every time we talk, man, I'm not going to dog Dak.
No, I'm not just telling you. I'm answering questions before they get asked.
Clarence, enjoy your time there at the Senior Bowl, my friend. Appreciate you taking some time with us today.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Clarence Hill Jr. with the Fort Worth Star Telegram joining us via the Buyers Barricade guest line. All guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. What do we got here, Pledge? You showing me something there. Is that Trey Lance? Says many people believe if teams cannot land the quarterback they want in the NFL draft, that former 49er Trey Lance will be an option at only 23 years old. You show that, and there was a rumor that I saw today, as a matter of fact, as I'm preparing for the show today, that the LA Rams were one of the teams that was interested, and maybe were dangling a fifth-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys for a Trey Lance. It'll be interesting. And Trey Lance is still a young guy, very young guy, 23 years old. Didn't obviously do well in the 49ers system and couldn't do it there. Traded to the Dallas Cowboys. But it doesn't seem like the Cowboys have interest in keeping this guy either. And if somebody makes them a decent offer, I think they would part ways. But that brings up the question, what do you do behind Dak Prescott? I mean, do you stay with Cooper Rush? Do you try and draft somebody this year later in the draft like you did Dak Prescott and have him available just in case? All of these things are going to be interesting. And talking to Clarence Hill, there are so many question marks. I think it all starts with that offensive line. I don't think there's any question. You've got to improve that. The running game is next. And then you got to find some run stoppers. He was talking about Mozzie Smith, and everybody, when he was drafted, said this guy is a run stopper. And he didn't stop nothing except maybe at a drive-through. And that's about it, honestly. But he didn't stop anything. And that's got to improve. And I say this in jest, really, but Michigan hasn't been too good to the Dallas Cowboys. Taco Charlton, Mozzie Smith. They really haven't. Schoonmaker. So maybe they'll get lucky at some point in time, but maybe you want to try somewhere else. I don't know, but there's a lot of work to be done in Dallas, that's for sure, this offseason, which is going to make it fun. It always does, and we'll talk about that. Here's a question, and Clarence kind of brought this up a minute ago, but there is one guy who says that Brock Purdy is actually better than Dak Prescott and Josh Allen. I wonder who in the world said that. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. We'll get back into the Cowboys talk as well as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning. More news coming out of Mobile, Alabama. All that Jerry has to say about his Cowboys and those seniors practicing for the Senior Bowl. We'll hear from Jerry and Steven and all the news about being all in. Did the Spurs take down the Orlando Magic? Did Wemby measure up to Paolo Blanchero's? Party starts at 6?
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, manager, club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure to get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need some winter gear made with the colder weather coming, the rodeo. You need your logo on a jacket, a half zip, a hoodie, beanie. Sam will get you taken care of. He has over 700 uniform lines to choose from all kinds of industries. He has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and all items come with a warranty. No order too big, certainly no order too small. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458E.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you. But you must call 800-257-0663 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-257-0663. That's 800-257-0663. Again, 800-257-0663.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. That's 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
There is only one opening left in the NFL because, according to reports this afternoon, Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald is going to be the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. We understand it's a 6-year deal. That leaves the Washington Commanders as the last team standing. Dan Quinn, you're running out of time. San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They continue their homestand and hoping to bounce back against the Orlando Magic.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day. Yeah. Courthouse and was not selected as a juror. Had a little jury duty today, but apparently he was not selected. And quite frankly, you look at Minix, would you select him to be on your jury? No, I wouldn't either. My goodness.
Hump day.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Love hump day. Wednesday is the best day of the week. So happy that you're spending yours with us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. James Pledger back there punching all the buttons and such and all the stuff that he does. We appreciate him. Great conversation with Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, just talking about what Jerry and Steven had to say about the Cowboys and where they go and whose contract is what and what is a priority. And you really don't know, even Clarence couldn't figure out exactly what Jerry and Steven were talking about the entire time, but it's an interesting conversation. We're going to get back into that a little bit later in the show. We got Spurs to talk about tonight. They do play the Orlando Magic. 7:00 tip-off inside the Frost Bank Center. Just an awful game. Their last one out against the Washington Wizards is a follow up a great game and then come back with a horrible game. So up and down. Will tonight be up? I don't know, but we will talk about that coming up here in a little bit with Game Night San Antonio a little bit later. Wanted to talk, though, a little bit, and I started off the show this way, but it's important that I continue this because I want to start a movement here, and I don't mean that kind of movement. I mean a movement, right, where you know, if you feel sorry for somebody, you want to take up for somebody. And to me, today, I just feel the need to take up for Taylor Swift. I really do. And I think it's important that everybody listening get on board with me and let's show Taylor and Travis a little love. Because, I mean, after all, there's a couple of young kids in love, having a good time. Taylor Swift, I don't know how many football games she's been to, but you know, she's in the suite, she's cheering, she's blowing kisses, she's, you know, Travis is giving her the heart emoji thing when he scores a touchdown. It's just a beautiful thing to see. Young love. Is there anything better than young love? I don't think so. But I'm researching for the show today, and I'm seeing all kinds of stories where people don't like Taylor Swift for some reason. In fact, as she was leaving the stadium in Baltimore the other day, happy that, you know, Travis and the Chiefs won, there were a bunch of Swifties. Oh, Taylor, oh, we love you. Texas. Oh. And then there was one guy saying, hey, Taylor, you're ruining football. Go away. And poor Taylor said, I didn't do anything. And I feel bad for her. I mean, think about that. Think about it. Why would you say that to Taylor? So you're ruining football. How is she ruining football? And I don't understand how she's ruining football. Somebody needs to explain that to me, because CBS then felt the need to come out and send out a tweet and say, look, we only showed Taylor Swift for 44 seconds. We showed food and other people a lot longer than that. 44 seconds is all Taylor got on the telecast on CBS the other day in the AFC Championship game. And then there was another one that really got to me. Really got to me. Actually, Pledge just pulled this up. This is it? See, that shocks me. Now, Pledge just pulled this up, courtesy of the New York Times. And it shows how many times that Taylor Swift was shown during, I guess it's maybe the last 5 broadcasts when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll start at versus the Raiders. Time shown 3, total duration 14 seconds.
Too much.
Against the Bengals, time shown 3, total duration 12 seconds. It's those morons in that Miami game. Time shown 5 times, total duration 1 minute and 10 seconds, 16 seconds. Then against the Bills, 24 seconds. And the Ravens, I gave them too much credit. I said 44. According to the New York Times, it was only 32 seconds. So I'm not sure where all this Swiftie hate is coming from.
Even a minute 16 during a 3.5-hour broadcast is minimal.
I think it's great. I love seeing Taylor Swift in the suite up there, just all happy and bouncing around and hugging Patrick Mahomes' wife, and just, I mean, I think it's happy. I think it's fun.
Oh, when they were swag surfing, that was great television.
Right? Swag surfing. What is swag surfing, Pledge?
When they're the whole stadium was.
I got you. Okay. All right. So, right? And then you got, Pledge is loving it. I just think we should all get on board. I don't know where all this Swiftie hate comes from. I really don't. Because, this could be a Hallmark movie in the future. Taylor Swift falls in love with the football star, Travis Kelce. They live happily ever after. Nobody thought it would work. None of it, but it did. And they were a happy couple for the rest of their lives. Had, 3.5 children, lived in a house with a picket fence, a big house with a giant picket fence. But who's asking? Look, just because she's a billionaire doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings, right? But she has feelings too. I didn't do anything. I mean, the guy made her cry. So I just think we should all get off of this thing, enjoy it, because look, she's going to be at the Super Bowl. She will be there. The NFL wants her there. Travis Kelce apparently wants her there. And I think we all should want her there too, especially if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. How about the game that Travis Kelce had? I mean, this dude had one hell of a game against the Baltimore Ravens with Taylor Swift cheering him on. I mean, the guy wants to impress stadium, probably went and had a nice restaurant, nice meal, and then, well, they do whatever they do. Now, Hunter Hitch on our YouTube channel says, I call it Swift fatigue. But, Hunter, we just gave you the times. A football game lasts 3 seconds or 3 hours. She was on for 32 seconds, for goodness sake. I'm starting a protest now, a movement, because it has to happen. I feel bad for her. I don't care that she's a billionaire. I don't care if she ever comes on the show or not, even though she should, because we'll probably be very nice to her. Travis Kelce, welcome on this show anytime. He should come on. We're at the Super Bowl next week. He should visit with us. But I'm not doing any of this for any of that. Nothing. I just feel bad for Taylor Swift. And, I like young love. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to see that. Just holding hands and,
Well, it looks authentic.
It does, right? And look, the worst thing that happened, if it doesn't turn into a Hallmark movie, well, Travis is going to have a song made after him. So it'll be in infamy. You know, he will live in Taylor Swift lore for the rest of his life.
Like Jake Gyllenhaal and John Mayer.
She's got quite a list, doesn't she?
We always talk about Derek Jeter's list.
Uh-huh.
Taylor's list is pretty good too.
Yeah, it's a long list. But, sometimes it takes a while to find the right person, Pledge. Sometimes you got to go through 10, 12, 15, I don't know. It takes a while to find the right person. And maybe just Taylor likes to have fun.
Are you trying to make yourself feel better?
No, not at all. But it happens. I'm a perfect example. Maybe that's why I have a soft spot for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And you know how this whole thing started off? If you forgot, Travis went to a concert, had a bracelet. He wanted to give it to her, right? And she wouldn't take it, so she kind of snubbed him.
Well, she didn't do a meet and greet before show.
That's it. And so he made it known on his podcast that happened, and all of a sudden, here we are today. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. You're going to hear Tony Romo talk about she's in the suite with the brother-in-law, the mother-in-law, the sister-in-law, the this-in-law. So he may know something that we don't. But the NFL wants her there. I want her there. You should want her there. All these Swifties that will be watching the Super Bowl, the NFL is going to make $1 bazillion. All the advertisers that put on these great ads are going to make $1 bazillion. Travis Kelce has made $1 bazillion since he started. He's got more commercials now than Patrick Mahomes or Shaq, for that matter. And it's all because of that, because all the Swifties like Travis Kelce. I'm a Swiftie until they don't, until he breaks her heart. And then, well, I don't know what's going to happen because that's quite the cult, Swifties. So Travis, treat her right. We're going to take up for her. Just don't be mean to her. Just enjoy. If you don't want to look at it, turn away. They're going to flash up there to the suite after Travis does something and she's going to be all happy. Just turn away. Go get a beer. Yeah, go get some more chips, some dip, whatever you do. Go pee during that time. Although that'd be pretty quick. I just thought it was while I had the platform today with Minix gone, I wanted to make sure that we all knew that Taylor Swift has a heart too. And she can get that heart broken. And it hurts. It hurts. Do you have any tissue in there, Pledge? Because
scrounge something up.
I feel a tear coming on.
I mean, look at the bright side of things.
What's that?
The NFL might be tearing up too because it brought them nearly $500 million extra dollars in profits this year.
That she's people coming to the broadcast, the Kansas City. You know how many Kansas City Chiefs fans there are now that don't know a damn thing about football? Nothing about football.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about the fathers of daughters that got to bond with them over football because they were suddenly interested because Taylor Swift was a part of the broadcast.
Another perk, Pledge. Well said. Fathers, daughters, bonding time on a Sunday. What are they going to do after the Super Bowl? These daughters, these Swifties, are going to be just like the rest of us, sad that football season is over. Sad that they don't get to see Taylor Swift in the suite cheering on her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. How many sad people are going to be after the Super Bowl on February 11th? Come February 12th, it's going to be the saddest Monday there is. So be nice. Be nice, everybody. Let's start the movement. Let's keep it going. We'll all say nice things about Taylor Swift. And if we don't, she doesn't give a damn. She's rich, and the rest of us are
peasants.
Peasants, for goodness sake. I feel better. Thank you for indulging me, everybody. I appreciate it, but I had to get that off my chest. And now after seeing this little thing you put up here from the New York Times, Pledge, that
so minuscule.
I mean, you got 5 games, and it's a total of, just quick math, 26 seconds, 50 seconds. Little over a minute, maybe 2.5 minutes of Taylor time in 5 ball games. So be nice, everybody. And be nice to Brock Purdy as well, because there is one national guy that says Brock Purdy is better than Dak Prescott, better than Josh Allen, better than Lamar Jackson. Who said that? Well, we'll hear from him when the Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, the Roo Pub is my go-to spot to watch any big game, and if you're planning ahead on a Super Sunday, it's going to be a fantastic party out there. Any of the Spurs games that are coming up, the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road is the spot with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you show up at the Roo, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. I love getting the fried shrimp there. They've got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, including the Wemby Burger. Great chicken sandwich. I love their appetizers. The onion rings are the best in town. I love the Philly cheesesteak fries as well. James Pledger tells me the salad is wonderful. The kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-through. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. At the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland, just down in the same shopping center is the new Big Blind. So go watch the game, have something to eat, and then go play poker. The Roo Pub, next to the Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon bottle of water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix. Well, he had jury duty today, so he was at the courthouse most of the day. But he's off the hook now, so that's good. Was that Pantera pledge? See, you're taking requests now from Alexandra Valverde, who, by the way, she's watching on YouTube. We thank you for doing that. We thank you for listening, however you're listening. You can comment there on our YouTube page. You can call in at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can reach me at Joe Reinagel 20 on X or Twitter or whatever they're calling it these days. But, my Taylor Swift rant a minute ago is getting some great comments on YouTube. One, Yacil Torvana says I'm a flip-flopper. And you're right, I am. I will freely admit that, Yacil. I hope I'm saying that right. When this whole thing first started, I was like, man, I don't want to see this. And then it got to me, you know?
That's not flip-flopping. That is finding facts that don't support your argument and going, I had no reason to feel that way.
Right.
Once you take in information, you're allowed to change your mind when the information dictates that you should.
You're a wise man, Pledge. I'm telling you. Wise man. I just think it's good for everybody. Just kind of adds a little, you get a smile when you watch. So anyway, there's that. Arnold P. saying, where's the petition to get Pledge to Vegas? Schwampy can hold down the fort. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure that he could. But now we need Pledge here. But by the way, we will be in Vegas starting our shows both in the morning, RJ and Rob Thompson in the morning, and the Blitz in the afternoon, starting on Radio Row in Vegas next Monday. We head out there on Sunday, and the shows will begin bright and early on Monday morning, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Already a bunch of guests lined up. We'll get you ready for the big game. Plus, we'll visit. What I love about going to the Super Bowl and Radio Row is the fact that the people you get to talk to and the different opinions you get and some of the analysis, if you will, that you don't get anywhere else. So can't wait for that. So AA Best Bail Bonds presents San Antonio Sports Star Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas, powered by Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and San Antonio Sports Star. So be ready for that. We'll fly out of here on Sunday, be ready to broadcast on Monday, and ready to have a great time in Vegas and bring it all back to you. We might even hear guys on the national media come and tell us that Brock Purdy is better than Dak Prescott or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Who in the world was this guy that said that? Well, his name, if I can find it, that guy, Ryan Clark, he said it.
When you look at what Brock Purdy was able to do, Brock Purdy has separated himself from Dak Prescott. Brock Purdy has separated himself from Tua Tagovailoa. Brock Purdy has separated himself from guys like Kirk Cousins, from guys like Justin Herbert. He was asked in the most pressurized moment to be the best he could possibly be. And Brock Purdy won the football game. Down 17. We always ask our best players to show up in the most important times. We can't continue to knock the Josh Allens, knock the Lamar Jacksons, knock the Dak Prescotts, and not praise Brock Purdy for doing the very thing we ask all of them to do. Does this mean that he's in the top 3 of quarterback talents, that I believe he's an elite quarterback? No, but he better than all them.
I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander.
I love that rant. How can you argue that rant? How can you argue that rant? Because Brock Purdy got it done. And I know everybody, oh, he's a system guy. He's got all these weapons around him, all of yada, yada, yada. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. Brock Purdy's in the Super Bowl. However he got there, whoever he has around him, guess what? He's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's not. Lamar Jackson's not. Josh Allen isn't. Those guys didn't get it done. And I'm going to tell you what else. San Francisco is a lot like the Dallas Cowboys, and I'll tell you why. San Francisco is designed to be a front runner. That team is a front runner. What I mean by that, they get a lead and they just run you down. It's what they do. Dan Campbell said as much. They bleed the clock. That's what they like to do. Well, in the playoffs, that's what I sounded like. I'm sorry. In the playoffs, Purdy showed the ability to bring the Niners back, not one. You talk about all the weapons you want. In that Green Bay game, he didn't have one of his big weapons in Deebo Samuel. But yet, you know what? They got the job done, and he got it done. And as bad as he was in that game, that final drive was a thing of beauty. He would have been 100% if not for a drop by George Kittle. He got the job done. They were down 24-7. I know it's all Dan Campbell's fault. Don't give 49ers any credit at all. It's Dan Campbell's fault because he went for it on 4th down twice. He lost the game. The Niners didn't win the game. Brock Purdy gives the 49ers the ability to come back, to respond. And no, he's not elite. He's smart. He doesn't panic. You don't see fear in his eyes like I saw in Dallas with the Cowboys in Green Bay. I saw fear in Dak Prescott's eyes. I don't see that in Brock Purdy's eyes. Whether they win the Super Bowl or not, because I'll be quite honest with you, I'm not sure anybody can beat Patrick Mahomes with the way that guy is playing. But this guy, we need to stop with the disrespect. And Ryan Clark, that rant right there was said better than anything that I could say, and I agree with every word that he said. At this moment in time, Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Who else you want to name that's not in the Super Bowl? The only guy that's better than him at this point in time, Patrick Mahomes. And until Brock Purdy gets over Mahomes, then Mahomes will be better. I don't want to hear the Dan Campbell hate. I don't want to hear it. Because the 49ers missed the field goal too, right? And, you know, there might have been a blade of grass that tripped somebody in 5 minutes in the first quarter. Oh, well, that turned the game. Stop it. Dan Campbell's been going for it on 4th down his entire season. And he's been successful. And would have been successful if not for a drop pass. Give the 49ers a little bit of credit because, look, they go into this game in the Super Bowl with revenge on their minds. The last time they met Kansas City in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs came out victorious. They've got something to play for, and they've got a quarterback that doesn't panic, even when he's 17 points behind. And it's time to Pat McAfee, give it to me.
I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander.
So am I. And it's about time we give this guy the credit that he's due. He's not a system quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback who, if the last time I checked in the games that I've watched, can throw balls on a dime and put them in a bucket. And as good as his weapons are around him, they don't have to do a whole hell of a lot to catch the football. I'm sick and tired of the Brock Purdy disrespect. And
I'm
you need
done with the Brock Purdy slander.
I second that comment. And it's time. And Ryan Clark, well done, young man, because that rant was perfect. Perfect. And you can't debate it. There's no way to debate it. He's better than all the guys that he reeled off. Let me hear it one more time, Pledge.
I'm done with the Brock Purdy slander.
When you look at what Brock Purdy was able to do, Brock Purdy has separated himself from Dak Prescott. Brock Purdy has separated himself from Tua Tagovailoa. Brock Purdy has separated himself from guys like Kirk Cousins, from guys like Justin Herbert. He was asked in the most pressurized moment to be the best he could possibly be. And Brock Purdy won the football game. Down 17. We always ask our best players to show up in the most important times. We can't continue to knock the Josh Allens, knock the Lamar Jacksons, knock the Dak Prescotts, and not praise Brock Purdy for doing the very thing we ask all of them to do. Does this mean that he's in the top 3 of quarterback talents, that I believe he's an elite quarterback? No, but he better than all them.
He is. Hard to argue that. Now, you can bring up the fact that they get down 17 to Kansas City with that defense. Well, it's going to be very difficult to bring them back. All right. So that's something that the 49ers can't do. They can't start. We're going to talk a lot about this matchup, but I just think Brock Purdy deserves your respect. He is. He's better than you think he is. And it's about time that we start giving this young man his due. My goodness. I feel like I'm lecturing everybody. Again, Taylor Swift, Brock Purdy. Who's next, Pledge? Who else can we take up for on this show?
I don't know, but I'm just glad you're finally coming over to my side of the table on things.
I don't know. Who else can we? Jerry Jones. We're going to take up for Jerry Jones next. How about that? It's Jerry's time. You got to give him some respect. All right, let's do that. We will do that when we continue right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning. More news coming out of Mobile, Alabama. All that Jerry has to say about his Cowboys and those seniors practicing for the Senior Bowl. We'll hear from Jerry and Steven and all the news about being all in. Did the Spurs take down the Orlando Magics? Did Wemby measure up to Paolo Banchero's? Party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, your heater this time of year, maybe all 3, there is only one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues? Worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancer pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
The Aggies play here. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday afternoon. I'm Joe Reinagel. This is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What a day it's been. Lots to talk about. And, of course, always when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, there's plenty to talk about because of Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Dak Prescott, whoever you want to talk about. But, boy, I tell you what, Jerry and Stephen have certainly given us a lot to talk about. They're at the Senior Bowl, which is going to be played on Saturday. But, of course, when Jerry and Stephen go somewhere, the entire Dallas media go as well. So, and then Jerry and Stephen talk because there's a camera and a microphone and writers and all that kind of stuff. So, they did a lot of talking, but I wanted to get into an issue. I heard it on the morning show with Rob and RJ this morning. RJ Ochoa is the biggest Cowboy fan that I know of. Now, to his credit, that's his business, what he does. I think he was a huge Cowboy fan anyway, and he turned it into a business, and he's very successful, and he's done very well. Blogging with the boys is what he does. And so he eats, lives, sleeps, breathes Dallas Cowboys. That's what he does. He seemed very frustrated this morning, though, when we're talking and hearing some of the comments by Jerry and Stephen, and brought up the question. And he made the comment that there were a lot of comments on the YouTube chat line that were blaming Dak Prescott. And so RJ kind of went into a rant, and blaming Jerry Jones. And why don't they put a team around him? And I listened to that, and I was like, well, let's see. And I'm talking about this past season only, not the rest of it, but this past season only. And I got to thinking, well, yeah, before the season, everybody was pretty happy with the trade for Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore, that trade. We were all very happy with the draft pick of Mozzie Smith. I didn't like the Schoonmaker. I said it was a wasted pick then, and it still is a wasted pick. There was no reason to draft the tight end with that second pick there. I think the Cowboys panicked. But their draft last year was not good. 3 of their 6 picks were busts. Mozzie Smith, Schoonmaker, and the gadget player. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So other than that, but Jerry put a team around Dak Prescott this year that everyone thought had a legit shot at going to a Super Bowl. And I mean legit shot even more so than what has been in the past. In fact, I sit across from a guy that told everybody this could be, and I want to make sure I quote him correctly, this could be an historic defense. This could be an historic defense. I mean, that's how fired up Jason Minnick was. This defense could be historic. He kept saying that. I said, that's a big word. I know, but it could be. They're all excited that it was going to be a defensive team. All the Cowboys needed to do was not screw it up. Dak would have a good year, and everything would be great. Well, as we all know, that didn't happen. Is that Jerry's fault? Is that Jerry Jones' fault? Or is it the player's fault? Or is it the coach's fault? Whose fault is it? Or is it a combination of everyone? Well, when you're talking about Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones has in the past been all on board. Dak's going to retire at Cowboys. He's going to play the next 10 years here. But when they talked to him yesterday, he told us that the Cowboys are only going to go as far as Dak takes us.
And I specifically want to make this point with y'all. It's actually a misrepresentation to ask about any one player's contract.
Yeah.
That's not the issue here.
And I guess, and again, I just juxtaposed it last year. You were very.
Dak has done nothing to change my mind of any promise for the future. I think I said in the deal that we'd go as far as Dak takes us in the playoffs. Remember that?
Right.
We'd go as far as Dak takes us.
Right. How do you feel you're playing?
And that's how far we went.
Oh, right. So.
Okay. So my point is that doesn't change a thing. But we'll go as far as Dak takes us.
See, I'm trying to decipher what Jerry's saying there. We're only going to go as far as Dak takes us. And he only took us into the first round of the playoffs, and it ended there. But nothing has changed, according to Jerry. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth there and doing it on purpose, obviously, because they're going to be in some negotiations with Dak about an extension, or do they restructure? Do they leave him as it is? So a lot to handle. And Dak's really just one part of the issue for the Cowboys this offseason. There are a lot of things that they need to do. But I'm not sure that Jerry is sold on Dak Prescott anymore. And I know a lot of Cowboy fans that aren't as well. But they're kind of stuck with him because he's got the Cowboys over a barrel. Got a no trade clause, no franchise tag clause, and he counts $59 million against the cap. They're going to have to do something with this guy. They're going to have to. Fan disappointment. Jerry and Stephen both talked about that. And Stephen Jones says, look, he gets it. He understands why the fans are disappointed.
Let's start with understand why the fans are frustrated, because we have had 3 good years at 12-5, and we have had major disappointments in the postseason. So until we do something about it, which is go have another great year and have success in the playoffs, and, that's going to be there. I mean, there's no way they're going to, explicitly trust you until you get it done. Would someone trust Tom Brady and the Patriots that they're going to get it done? Yeah. Why? Because they did it year in and year out. Does someone trust Mahomes in Kansas City that they're going to do it? Why? Because they do it 6 years in a row. They're in the championship game. Until we compete at that level and we get the job done, then there's going to be doubt, and rightfully so.
And just to piggyback on that, how when you brought up those teams, you brought up the quarterback, which is why we always go back to
We love our quarterback. It's well documented what we think about our quarterback.
Oh, you can love a quarterback and then not really want him around. I mean, Dak's a nice guy. He does a lot in the community, and there's a lot of stuff there, right? But is he the guy that can lead you to the promised land, or at least lead you to a deeper into the playoffs? But I like how Steven put it there because he mentions quarterbacks: Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Look, you can read between the lines here, and I'm going to do that. But I think that all of these guys, both Joneses, are losing faith in their quarterback. He had a good team around him this year. He did. He had a good team around him. Everyone thought so. Everyone, and I mean not me, not just Jason, RJ, national guy. Everyone thought that this could be. This team was good enough, put together enough that they had a legit shot at a Super Bowl. And they didn't get it done. I mean, they showed up in that Green Bay game. You guys all saw this, acting like, well, we're the big bad Dallas Cowboys. We never lose at home. And, well, the Green Bay Packers are just going to fold because it's the Cowboys. And they're just going to fold. Well, they didn't fold. They came to play because they don't give a damn that there's a star on your helmet. They don't give a damn that you're playing in Jerry World. And it bit the Cowboys in the butt. Is that Jerry's fault? See, I just don't get that it's all Jerry's fault. I really don't. Because he did what he was supposed to do. He put a good team around Dak. And again, we can revisit the past if you want to do that. But I'm talking about this past season. Jerry went out and made the trades and did what he had to do and put a good team around Dak Prescott, get it done. It's funny because we had a little conversation about Brock Purdy. Nobody respects this guy because he's got all these weapons around him. Well, I think Dak Prescott's Brock Purdy. He needs all those weapons around him to be successful. So, I mean, there's really no different. None. Now, what are the Cowboys going to do? They've got a lot of work to do, a lot of free agents that they're going to have to deal with. And Jerry, the one that's getting most of the credit or most of the run, I should say, of what he said yesterday was, hey, this season we're all in.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in at the end of this year. So when you say, is there any thought, I think Will Strainer will push the hell out of it.
Okay. Is that doing something different than you had in the past in that respect?
Well, it will be, and it will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past.
Okay.
We'll be going all in. We've seen some things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. And yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year not building for the future is the best way I don't say it. I mean, that ought to answer a lot of questions.
So if I look at that, I'm thinking the LA Rams, who went all in, won a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. Tampa Bay Buccaneers went all in and won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady at quarterback. Is that what Jerry's talking about? The problem is the Cowboys are $19 million over the cap. They're going to have to do something to get under the cap. If you're going to sway some free agents to be here, they're not going to come for free, right? We all know that. But Stephen Jones, well, he was asked about the cap and cap gymnastics, and he says he feels pretty good about the cap.
There's a lot of roads to it. But, yes, we feel really good about our cap situation.
Because you're over the cap, like 14 to 19.
What have I always said about the cap? We feel good.
Okay.
See, I love that because really the salary cap is just it's a baseline, right? You can do things to get around it and play some tricks and do some things and get around it, and you'll be able to do what you got to do. If that is the case, Stephen Jones, then do it. Bring some people in. Bring some stars in. Clarence Hill Jr. joined us earlier from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, was talking about Derrick Henry. Why not? That would be fantastic. I think you still draft a running back, but if you have a Derrick Henry for the short yardage stuff and as a change of pace, man, that is fantastic. A Derrick Henry would be good. That would be a big splash I think Cowboy fans would be really happy with. The offensive line needs some help. Running back we address. Wide receivers, another thing. Linebacker. You're going to get Trayvon Diggs back. There's a lot of work to do. And it looks like you're going to get Dan Quinn back, perhaps. What you got in there, Pledge?
Well, Jerry with the classic misdirection in his quote, because we all bid on the buzzword. All in, right?
Yeah.
Listen carefully to the first 8 seconds of that quote again.
All right.
I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in.
With the key contracts. That's a good point, because going all in to Jerry may be going all in and getting Dak and CD and Micah signed. That's a good way to look at it, and it could very well be the case. Getting those contracts done to Jerry could be going all in, because let's face it, unless Steven's right and you can work some magic and, put money over here and bring some over here and do this and do that, you pay those three guys, it's going to be very difficult to bring in anybody else. Now, I've heard they're going to rework Trayvon Diggs' contract, and Zach Martin's contract is going to be reworked somewhat. So they're going to find some money. But is it going to be enough? And if it is Jerry's fault this year, I would like for you to tell me why. I would. Now, Eric Salazar in a YouTube chat room says it's Jerry's fault because he won't hire a head coach. Can you put that back up, Pledge? Thank you. Who inspires the team and complete control of football. They came out flat against the Packers. I don't know that that's Mike McCarthy's fault, Eric. I don't know that it is. We're talking about the NFL. And if NFL football players need a coach to fire them up for an NFL playoff game, then I think these players are in the wrong business. I don't think they need to be fired up. They get a huge check, most of them, right? Most of them. Is that not enough to fire you up?
Okay. To your point then, with it being the players' faults or the coach's faults or whoever's faults it may lie, if it's on the players, isn't it on the GM to weed out the players on the roster that don't fit?
So you're blaming Will McClay.
I'm blaming everybody in that think group up there.
Sure. But who knew? Because look, all right, let's use Micah Parsons, for example.
You mean the guy who's tailed off at the end of the last 2 years?
Has done that and has really turned into a donkey in a lot of respects. I mean, he really has. Yeah. He's doing his podcast again tomorrow, I think, for the first time. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says. Is he going to give Green Bay any credit? I doubt it, because he didn't give anybody else any credit who beat the Cowboys this year. Look, the entire franchise is arrogant. It's an arrogant franchise. It is. I think a Cowboy fan would know that. But here's what I want to ask you. Jerry Jones, since he came in as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, has turned that franchise into the richest franchise in pro sports. The richest. America's team. We talk about the Cowboys. We're the Cowboy station. ESPN talks about the Cowboys. Fox talks about the Cowboys. The NFL Network talks about the Cowboys. Everybody that's got a platform talks about the Cowboys. Why? Because Jerry Jones, period. So would you rather have a franchise that you're a fan of that is, and I mean no disrespect to this, and I've already said this to Pledge, that is like the Houston Texans, that most of their fans are from Houston. The Dallas Cowboys have a fan base that is all over this country and all over the world, quite frankly. If the Texans win, maybe that changes. But like Jerry or not, he is a promotions machine, and he has done more for this franchise than any other owner in the NFL combined. So is it Jerry's fault? I'm not sure. I think he has done his job and put the players around, but those players then need to reward Jerry and play. They need to play.
We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
I forgot about that. Forgive me. Everything I just said, throw it out the window. Cowboys are champions. Mike McCarthy said so. Oh, my gosh. That was one of the weirdest things I've heard. So what do they do moving forward? That's the big question. And there was a big word brought up by both Jerry and Steven called holistic. I'll be honest with you. I had to look it up. But I did. I know what it means. We'll talk about that when the Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I got to talk to you about Parkhurst New Vision because I'm excited to talk to you about Parkhurst New Vision because they have simply changed my life. If you listen to the show for any amount of time, you know that I had lens replacement surgery over the summer, and it has changed the way I see the world, quite frankly. I don't need glasses anymore, no more readers, none of that stuff. And in fact, my results were so good that my wife, Maggie, decided to get her eyes done, and she's loving life as well. It has completely changed our lives. They can do the same thing for you. Parkhurst New Vision. Call them at 210-585-2020 or check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. When you call them at 210-585-2020, you're going to set up a time for a consultation. All right, so bring in every question that you have, every concern that you have. They will answer each and every one. And tell them your old buddy Joe Reinagle from the Blitz sent you in there. Will you do that for me? They can change your life. Let them do it. Go talk to them. Take that first step, and you do that by calling them. Do it today, 210-585-2020.
The Sports Star boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinagle. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate. 210-785-0994 or go online at stevensroofing.net.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from the Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down
Look at that sweet moolah!
that big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They continue their homestand. They'll take on the Orlando Magic. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock. The NBA said today they're going to expand the 2024 draft. A 2-night event in New York, June 26th and 27th. And, well, Seattle, they've got their guy, Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Where's Dan Quinn going? Anywhere?
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Hump Day.
Hump day.
I love Wednesdays.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I really do. Hump Day.
Hump day.
Is that the camel? Here we go. Camel or me? I'm not sure. They're so close. It's so like, bam. Geico brings back that commercial I'm in. I'm the camel's voice.
Hump day.
Hump Day.
Guess what day it is?
A little hesitation there, huh? Welcome to the Blitz, everybody. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix with the afternoon off. He had jury duty this morning. Spent a long time down at the Bexar County Courthouse. So he'll be back tomorrow because he didn't get selected for a jury. And he's got to be hating that, actually, because he told me yesterday he wanted to be on a jury, wanted to have that whole thing. But the problem is, if he would have gotten picked today, say that trial didn't start until tomorrow, last 3 or 4 days, guess what? He's not going to Vegas. So now he'll be there, and he's got to be happy about that. We do all go to Vegas, and I can't wait for that. In fact, our shows out there begin on Monday. We're going to fly out there on Sunday. The shows start with RJ and Rob Thompson in the morning on Monday morning, and it's all brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Radio row coverage from Vegas, powered by Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and San Antonio Sports Star. I've seen the list of guests. And, I tell you what, already lined up. And then once we get out there, there's folks running around all over the place. Emmitt Smith is already lined up for us on Friday. A couple of good things about that. He will bring his tequila, which is nice. It's always nice to have a tequila shot with Emmitt about 10 o'clock in the morning, but it's Vegas, so who cares, right? And then he's always got a good opinion on the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on there. So I can't wait for that. If you remember, he had a lot to say about Tony Pollard last year, where everybody, was ready for Tony Pollard to get in there, ready to get rid of Zeke Elliott. And because he said, hey, it's the second string running back. It's kind of like the second string quarterback sometimes. Everybody wants that guy until he gets in, and then you want the first stringer back. So can't wait to hear from Emmitt Smith next Friday. Talk about the Cowboys and his opinions on what they should do and what they have done. In the meantime, we heard from Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. And we talked about who is to blame, and we can still talk about that if you want to. You're more than welcome to call in at 656-3776, 656-ESPN, or you can get me at Joe Reinagle 210 on the X, formerly known as Twitter. Or if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. Be sure and subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, but you can also comment there. And a lot of folks have. And we appreciate you listening there and watching the broadcast on YouTube. But however you're listening, we thank you very much, and we certainly appreciate you all very much. So who's to blame, Jerry Jones or the players, coaches, whoever? So, and I'm talking about this year in particular. So that was the comment that we have. But now it's time to move forward, right? What are the Cowboys going to do? Well, Jerry and Steven brought out a new term, holistic. I had heard that word before, but I couldn't remember what it meant. So I looked it up. The definition of holistic is parts of something that are interconnected, explained by reference to the whole, not about one person. Okay, so that's important. Not about one person. It's not about Dak. It's not about CD. It's not about Micah independently. It's about the entire team. I tried to explain it, but maybe Stephen Jones can explain it better than I did.
It's real hard to answer a question about a player in particular when you're taking an overall view of your team. You've got to make some hard decisions in some areas, and then you might be more aggressive in other areas. And does that, in our mind, make us feel good about that's going to make us better, not only to repeat what we've done in the regular season, but then take the next step in the postseason. And I think you have to look at it as a whole. You have to put the draft into the mix. What's it going to be like? You have to look at the players you want to keep, the players you want to make some hard decisions on. And then, are there ways that you, just like we did last year, it wasn't necessarily free agency, it was trades. It was, trading for Cooks, trading for Gilmore. We thought they really did a nice job for us this year and made us better. But we've got, those are things that you put it all together and say, who are the guys available for trade? Who are the guys, that we might could do well in free agency with? Who are the guys, would we rather just keep these young players, that we have? So you have to look at the big picture. You can call it big picture. You can look at full body of work. You can call it holistic. There's a lot of terms for it, but it's hard to, especially this time of year, it'll come up on us. It'll come up on us here when free agency starts and we have to, have the cap situation where we want it. But that's why we're not there yet, and why we'll continue to have great dialogue amongst the decision makers on this football team.
Boy, he's got a lot of work to do. There's no question about that. A lot of holes to fill for this Cowboys team, and a lot of contracts to get signed. Now, Jerry, if you've listened to the show, we talked about Jerry and his comments about Dak Prescott have been kind of all over the place, right? Back and forth. And he was asked simply as he changed his stance on his quarterback.
I'm unequivocal about it right now.
Okay.
I'm unequivocal about it right now. We've got a lot of contract work to do. Okay. I'm equivocal about all of the contracts. I can be unequivocal about all the contracts. We're going to have to adjust all contracts or to get as many of the very players that you could ask me about singly under the contract. So I'm really trying to give you a straight answer. I won't be addressing at any time here one contract, one player at all. That is not, let me emphasize, and I'm in a plural, that is not in any way being iffy about any player that we've got, whether it be Lamb, Parsons, Prescott, Smith, you name them. That's not being unequivocal. Okay, the facts are that it's obvious who your top players are. It's obvious who the players we want back would be. Obvious. It's very obvious here in my mind. And so anything I've said, like last year, I said we see a picture of him going forward for many years. That's live and well. Yes, we sure do. But we've got a lot of contracts to address.
Yeah, because the only reason we talk about him is because it's cap, $59 million cap figure. It impacts what you can do with other guys. You have to decide.
But for me to make an answer that you want to hear, I have to say we've got a lot of work to do on every one of these guys' contracts. And if you don't get it worked out on certain contracts, it would change this answer.
Where does the work
change this answer?
Where does the work start on Dak's contract?
We've have been doing a lot of the work we do for the last 2 years.
When you look at roster turnover,
In other words, there's been a lot of work done on. We didn't just get here and land here after we got beat by Green Bay. Well, I'm not trying to be trite, but what we did regarding our big challenge in this offseason in terms of making all of what we can do work under the cap, that's work's been going on for years. There's not one figure or one number or one set of circumstances that I'll consider or will be looking at that I wasn't thinking about this time last year. Not one.
Not one. And I'm not exactly sure what Jerry was saying there completely. I get it. It's not just one guy, but I just want the question answered. Is Dak getting the new contract or not?
Well, let's be real clear. I don't even want to answer the question. Okay. I would let everybody say, you can just assume that. You can just assume that right there. What I'm really saying is I'm not going to be discussing any part of it because it looks like that's an issue. Okay. When it's not, it's the entire thing and the balancing of the entire thing. And we're going to have to go get some people that are out of contract that you could ask the question. Can we assume that Martin's here? Can we assume that any of these guys are here? Well, you can sure assume it. And so that's what I'm saying. It's looking like that you might have to have a consideration when in fact I'm considering every player we got's contract and having to adjust maybe before it's over a high percentage of the contracts. Because what's happened, let me be real clear, is because you have such a group of high profile players, you're having to really put more an emphasis on your entire salary cap available room. Okay, because you're well aware, and I know that you are trying to address the point that between Parsons, Lamb, Dak, and others, that you're going to be putting some things in place that are pretty impactful down the line.
Especially with the cap.
So, in other words,
but does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
No, it makes no sense.
It is wrong to go to any contract and say, well, is that not an emphasis point of a contract for you? Because it's wrong. That's not right. It's the entire, how we balance the entire, able to get it all or get as much of it as we can under the wire.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. And what Jerry's doing there, if you haven't noticed, is trying to tell these guys, look, we want to bring you all back, but, you got to maybe help us out a little bit, which none of those guys are going to do. They're not going to do that. I mean, my goodness. But it sounds like he's trying to send a message to Dak, CD, Micah, and others, as Jerry said, that, you may want to lower that just a little bit. And it's tough to follow Jerry sometimes. It really is tough to follow him. But I think in his mind, he understands what he's trying to say. It just doesn't come out right. And it's not because Jerry's 81. Jerry's been that way the entire time that I've covered the Cowboys, for sure, going way back. So that's just Jerry. That's just how he is. He just doesn't make sense. And I almost think that he does that on purpose. He don't want you to know. He's negotiating. He doesn't want Dak to know or his agents to know what he's doing, or Micah or CD and all of these guys. So it's confusing. And I think it's almost confusing to a point where it's on purpose. So we'll see what the Cowboys do. I tell you what, they got a lot of work to do and a lot of ways to figure out money. And will guys hold out? Will they not? Will they sign? It's going to be an interesting offseason, as it always is with the Dallas Cowboys. Always is. Oh, my goodness. The Cowboys. They'll wear you out sometimes, won't they? It's because they're the Cowboys. The rodeo is coming. The rodeo is coming. I can't wait. It's coming up pretty quick, and we'd like to send you there. John Michael Montgomery will be performing at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo on February 19th. You can go see John Michael Montgomery if you happen to be caller number 9 right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Call pledge. If you're the lucky caller number 9, you will win tickets to go see John Michael Montgomery. Hey, the 65-game rule in the NBA. A lot of people don't like it, especially after one big star went down last night. We'll talk about that when the Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, I've got some news that's going to lift your spirits. Have you ever been told you're not a candidate for full mouth dental implants? That is a tough pill to swallow, but fear not, because I've got the scoop on Doctor's Implants. They are changing the game. At Doctor's Implants, their board-certified oral and facial surgeons are ready to. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Don't let old school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. You can check them out online at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you give them a call at 210-640-0000, tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. You're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to that perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Give them a call today, 210-640-0000.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyer4us.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this. It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
alawyer4us.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, alawyer4us.com.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hola, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you along on Wednesday. Even the mean folks on our YouTube chat. There's some mean people out there, you know. That's okay. I love you anyway. Love you. Carlos, we have checked on Jason. He did not make the jury. And you know, quite frankly, if you're an attorney, prosecutor, or defense attorney, would you want Minix on your jury? I wouldn't. You want to look at that dude and say, no, he's out. He's out. No Minix. So he will be back tomorrow. He spent the whole day down at the Bexar County Courthouse. So we sent him home. He's done. Needs to rest up, but he'll be back tomorrow. And, of course, all of us will be flying out to Vegas on Sunday. Really happy about that. That's why I keep bringing it up because, man, I can't wait. This is one of those trips that is just a lot of fun. Not only is it a lot of fun, but it's educational because you hear from so many people, so many former players, coaches, broadcasters, and all of that, and you get a good, firm feeling on on how they see the game and what they're thinking and all of that stuff. So we're headed out to Vegas for the big game, and we're going to take you with us. We have all the best guests, all the best coverage, all the stories from Vegas, and it will all be right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. AA Best Bail Bonds presents San Antonio Sports Star Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas, powered by Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and San Antonio Sports Star. So we're looking forward to that. All of our shows, including Rob and RJ in the morning, and Jason and I here on the Blitz kickoff on Monday. Let's talk a little hoops, because I don't know if you saw, Joel Embiid went down last night, knee injury, and it looked pretty bad. Haven't seen any MRI results just yet, but he could be hurt. He looked like he hurt it because he was hustling. He went down for a ball, and somebody landed on him. And it almost looked like he hyperextended the knee. Look, which could happen at any time. Could happen in game one, for goodness sake. But all of a sudden, because Joel Embiid, who is projected to be the MVP, at least if the award were given right now, he would be the guy. So he's a high-profile guy, big star in the NBA, and he goes down. Well, all of a sudden now everybody's attacking the 65-game rule. Now, y'all remember that rule. Adam Silver put that in because he was sick and tired of load management, where everybody was resting guys, especially on road games where sometimes you only have the opportunity to see those stars once, and it was cheating the fans. So Adam Silver said, look, if you don't play in 65 games, you're not eligible for any postseason awards, and that includes MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, whatever it is. You got to play in 65 games, unless you're legitimately hurt. So everybody's speculating that Embiid came back because he's had an issue with his knee. In fact, missed a couple of games prior to this one. And everybody thought that. But Nick Nurse, the head coach of the Sixers, said, no, it's a different knee. Whether it is or not, it got everybody on the 65-game thing, especially Draymond Green, who just doesn't like it at all.
Joel playing tonight felt very much so because of the 65-game limit. Well, I think it's actually quite bullshit. Guys didn't face those rules before, but those same all-NBA teams, those same MVP awards lists, Defensive Player of the Year, those lists are the same. I once lost a Defensive Player of the Year award to Kawhi Leonard, and I think he played 51 games. In turn, you get Joel, who comes out there tonight and he forces it. And Freak played with him and JK diving for the ball, but maybe it's not as bad if the knee isn't already banged up. I don't really bang with it. Now we got one of our premier faces in this league, the MVP of our league, possibly hurt for an extended period of time because he's forcing it.
Because he's forcing it. So many things to talk about there that Draymond said. Look, that injury was a freak injury. I don't think it has anything to do with anything. The guy fell on top of his knee and hyperextended it. Nurse says it's not the same knee. I'm sure the doctors in Philadelphia said he's okay to go. Joel probably wanted to go. Now, was he forced to do it because he wants to win the MVP award? Well, we'll have to ask Joel about that. But he was playing well. I mean, it didn't look like he was hurt. Although I've read some that say, well, Joel just didn't look himself, even before that injury. Look, I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers are going to chance their championship hopes just so Joel Embiid can go out and play and so he's eligible for the MVP award. I think the bigger picture is obviously a lot bigger, and I think Joel would see that. I don't understand the players of today. I really don't. Now, Greg Popovich is the one that started this whole load management thing, and everybody came on. Remember, it was Pop that started the Hack-a-Shack, and that caught on for a while as well. So Greg Popovich starts a lot of things. But this load management thing just got out of control. Look, as a fan, if you're going to an NBA game, you got good seats, I don't know, $200, say. You pay $200 because you want to see Joel Embiid. You're in the Western Conference. That's your only opportunity. And the guy's sitting down, not playing because he's resting. Not because he's hurt, but because he's resting. I mean, that's irritating. I mean, it's just flat out irritating. You paid that money because you want to see the big stars. That's what Adam Silver saw. That's why he put this rule in, so guys just couldn't sit. Now, if you're legit hurt, that's a whole different thing. Obviously, Joel Embiid was not, or he wouldn't have been out there. And guys play a little bit banged up all the time. I mean, it happens. It's been happening in pro sports since the beginning of time. That's what you do. You think in the NFL that any of those guys out there not have some kind of ding, something that's going on? They're not, none of those guys right now, or that just played last Sunday, were 100% healthy. There was something that they were dealing with because it's a long season and your body takes a lot of punishment. Same thing in the NBA. Your body takes punishment. You bang, you run, you move different ways. It happens. You play through it. If the docs say it's okay, you play through it and you're going to be okay. And I feel confident that's what Joel Embiid did. And I wish that the guys at the Players Union and these players today would just play basketball. That's what you're paid to do, and paid very handsomely to do, is to play basketball. I'm tired of the whining. We just can't play. Hey, here's an idea that I think would go over fantastic. Shorten the season to 62 games. Whoa, there's an idea. Now, look, this is never going to happen because, well, you lose out on 20 games. But don't whine about having to play. That's what you're paid to do. It's a great rule. Adam Silver did it. He knows he had to do it, and he did it. I'm glad he did it, and I'm tired of people whining about it. It's ridiculous. Go play when you're supposed to play. That's what the fans want. That's what the fans deserve, and that's what you ought to be doing. And for Draymond Green to come out and say, look, Draymond had a nice vacation. Had it without pay, but he had a nice vacation because he was suspended. But it's a good rule. I love it. I think it's fantastic. You know, Pop has actually started something else. And if you've noticed, because Victor Wembanyama is going to win the Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any question about that. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year award. So he's got to play 65 games. But what is Pop doing? Minutes restriction. Minutes restriction. Do that. I'd rather you do that and say, hey, Joel, your knee's hurting, so we're only going to play you 20 minutes tonight. Fine. You played. You're in the game. Counts as one of the 65. You know, for all the complaining, and I'm guilty of this too with Greg Popovich here in the San Antonio Spurs. In fact, last two, the guy's a genius. He really is a genius. When you're talking about load management, you're talking about minutes restriction. And, of course, Pop blames that on the docs. Doesn't matter. You know, that's what he was doing because we were sitting here talking about it and talking about how, look, Wemby looks great. He looks fantastic. Why does he have a minutes restriction? Maybe that's the reason. Pop didn't want to rest him, so he gives him a minutes restriction. It's genius. Genius. So do that, Joel. Do that, Draymond. Don't sit out and deprive the fans of what they came to see, and that's the big stars play. It just seems like common sense, does it not? It just seems like common sense. Go play the game you are paid to play. Do it. Speaking of playing games, the Spurs have a game they're going to play tonight against the Orlando Magic inside the Frostbank Center. Victor Wembanyama is getting a lot of praise nationally, as he should. The guy is really turning into the thing and the star that everybody thought that he would. We're going to hear from Wemby coming up here in just a moment as we have a game night San Antonio coming up on the other side of the break. First, though, Pledge and I are in a giving mood. We're going to give away some more tickets. The Australian Pink Floyd coming to the Boeing Center at Techport. It is August 22nd, 2024, and you can win a pair of tickets to see the Australian Pink Floyd at the Boeing Center at Techport. Again, August 22nd, so you got a lot of time to plan. But if you're caller number 7 right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can walk away with tickets to the Australian Pink Floyd. The Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star boys are headed to Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
This Monday, Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are heading to Sin City and Radio Row for the big game with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here! Not up in here!
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home. They've added extra outlets in the garage, a spotlight over one of the grills outside. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whatever your project is, they have the right service at the right price. Never a service charge and always free estimates. So it costs you nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
At Boot Barn Work, we support those who rise in the early mornings and keep pushing through the long night shifts because there are mouths to feed, homes to build, and a country to fuel. Those who mark their progress by the wear on their tools and the sweat dripping down their face. Every scuff on your boots represents your role in America's unrelenting workforce. Boot Barn Work, for those who feed, build, and fuel the nation.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergen X. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergen X, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com. Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the UFC fights. And when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Celebrating 10 years in business, the Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text RENEWAL to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text RENEWAL to 200-300 right now. Text the word RENEWAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Text RENEWAL to 200-300.
This is the home of the Yankees. This is Andy Montana. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the AA Best Bail Bonds Game Night San Antonio on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Every game night, the Blitz with Jason and Joe get you inside and ready for tonight's game. Players, coaches, insiders. This is the AA Best Bail Bonds Game Night San Antonio. The pregame show starts now.
Game Night San Antonio right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs in action at home. They continue their homestand. This is game 5 of a 7-game homestand for the Spurs. And then they'll head out on the road for the Rodeo Road Trip. They'll take on the Orlando Magic tonight. Paolo Banchero in town tonight. So speaking of big stars, he certainly won. The Magic, a game over 500, 24-23, but they're not very good on the road. 9-16 away from the friendly confines of Orlando. Spurs 10-37, 5-18 at home, and coming off a game that, boy, they'd probably rather forget. Problems, though, for the Spurs as far as injuries go. Zach Collins remains out. He's got that ankle issue. And Keldon Johnson is out tonight. And the Spurs say he's got a laceration on his elbow. So not sure how that happened, but that's why he's out tonight. So he won't be in the lineup tonight for the Spurs. This could be an interesting game and a good test for the Spurs. By the way, if you're into these kind of things, Orlando is a 6.5-point favorite tonight away from home. And I'm not sure why, other than maybe Vegas just doesn't know which Spurs team is going to show up. The one that beat the Timberwolves on what was that, Saturday night or Sunday night? Anyway, over the weekend, they beat them. It was a great game, great fourth quarter. Or the one that lost to the Washington Wizards. What is today? Monday night. So, yeah, it's hump day.
Monday,
isn't it?
Saturday. It's Wednesday.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Man, every day just it's hump day. Give me one more, will you? I got to get one more before I leave.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Maybe that's a good juju for the Spurs. Little hump day magic for them as they take on the Orlando Magic today. Again, Keldon Johnson not playing. Zach Collins not playing. We'll see if that makes a difference. Victor Wembanyama, though, is playing, and that's very important. The guy has been fantastic. I mean, he really has. He's growing. He's getting better. He's understanding, it seems. Look, don't take that for granted, because there was a time where coming in, he didn't. He had to learn where to go. There were times early in the season. Remember that, where he had to, I mean, it almost looked like he was lost out there. Now he's really taking the bull by the horns and establishing himself, inserting himself into the game. And it looks like his teammates are starting to, at least some games anyway, are starting to find him. And that is making a big difference. But either way, people from all over this country are loving the way that Victor Wembanyama is playing. In fact, he got a lot of praise from the folks on TNT.
Wemby, this is Jamal Crawford. I always say, seeing you in person, you're the creative player that creative players would create. And I love watching you play, but actually seeing you after the game, I was leaving the arena and I saw you in the weight room right after. And to me, that was even more impressive. Where does your drive and your focus come from?
You know, to me, it's very clear, but at the same time, it's kind of, you know, intimate. I'd say it's very profound. You know, inside of me, it's you know, I got this abilities. I got this talent. You know, I'm healthy. I was raised in a good family. You know, and so I got all this that was given to me, and for me, the only option is to use it and to make the most out of it. So if I can be the best, then I must be the best.
And I believe that. I think he means that. I mean, this guy played basketball his life, right? And I just think that he does want to be a superstar in the NBA. Because let's face it, look, and no disrespect to the French league or any other league overseas. I know there's a lot of players coming out from Europe and playing great in the NBA, but the NBA is the crown jewel of basketball. It is. It just is. And so that's why everybody wants to come here. That's why everybody wants to be successful here. And Victor Wembanyama is no different. And I think the guy is learning. I think he is really getting better. And his skill set, well, it's getting better too.
Wemby, Jamal again, Lefko brought up that you brought out the sham god. Can you do the Crawford double behind the back shake and bake? Can you do that move in the game? If you do, no hesitation.
Not a doubt.
No hesitation.
Not a doubt.
He said yes. Can we see that this season?
The coach I had in France, his name is Kareem, that taught me the sham god, for example. He also taught me the double behind the back shake and bake. So this is something I work on. So
Wemby, if you pull that out,
Will you be first on cross-up?
I may have to show you the extended version. I've never shown anybody, but I'm going to hand that gift to you because you can do it, and you will take it to the masses. Congrats, my brother.
Sure. Appreciate it. Thank you. I must say, I've watched film of you doing it, like compilations and stuff.
I don't think there's anything this kid can't do, honestly. I really believe that. And you know, watching him this season, watching him improve, and you talk about wanting improvement. You watch Wemby play ball and you see improvement. And that's been the big thing for this team. You know, I'm not sure that anybody else has in the way that we'd like to see them do that. But Wemby certainly has. The insertion of Trey Jones as the point guard into the starting lineup, I think has done wonders for everybody, especially Wemby. Moving him to the center spot, even though I know he didn't want to do that at first, that's where he needs to be. I mean, the guy should go up against guys that are similar. Look, the Joker in Denver, that's what he does, but it doesn't mean he's going to stay under the bucket. He's outside. He can shoot the three just like Wemby. And I just think those two adjustments by Greg Popovich have helped Victor Wembanyama tremendously. You know, obviously all Spurs fans, or at least most of us, we're not happy about the Jeremy Sohan point guard situation. But even Jeremy Sohan is playing better now since he doesn't have that responsibility to set everybody else up and to do that. And so I think it's helped everybody tremendously. You know, Pledge and I were talking a few minutes ago about the trade deadline coming up on February 8th, and will the Spurs do anything? And I think it's going to be interesting to see if they do. Look, I think Doug McDermott is probably gone, but not that that's going to bring a haul back to the Spurs, and there may be another one. And for Doug McDermott, I would like to see the guy go and get a chance to get on a team that's got an opportunity to win a championship. And the way he can shoot three-pointers, a lot of teams would want him. Now, that's not going to bring the Spurs a haul. I don't know what kind of moves they're going to make before the All-Star break. What I'm looking for is what they do in the offseason. Spurs, it's well known, they've got a closet full of draft picks. They've got a chest full of money. And I want to see them go out and surround Wemby with some veteran talent. At least a couple of guys that can come in here, help him learn, and help him grow. Spurs are obviously going to have a high draft pick. again. Who knows? They might even have the first pick. They're going to be in the lottery again. Maybe they win the lottery. That's a possibility. Imagine that big dude from Purdue. That guy's a tank. I don't think anybody would get inside on the Spurs. I digress, though. I want to see this team build around him. And look, if it takes 2 or 3 years, it takes 2 or 3 years. But I think the Spurs can ramp this thing up. I really do. And if they add some veteran talent, and I believe that they can do that, because I've seen it happen. I've seen veterans that claim, and Spurs fans and people said nobody wants to come to San Antonio, but that's not true. Not when you have a guy like Wemby. You have a guy like Tim Duncan. They want to come play because they know that they can be part of a championship run. There were a lot of veterans when Tim Duncan was drafted. You guys remember that? A lot of veterans, including David Robinson, obviously, and that was huge. But there were a lot of veterans that Tim came into. I think him playing 4 years in college certainly helped his game. That doesn't happen anymore very often. And then, of course, Wemby's just a youngster. I mean, a young guy, but he's been playing ball for a long, long time. Putting some veterans around him will help him on the floor. And there's a difference. Right there, there's a difference between being coached up in practice by whether it's Tim Duncan or whomever. Boris Diaw was in the facility the other day, and all of that helps. But to have some veteran players on the floor during the heat of action, and pointing out things to Wemby about what he can do, about what he should do, how can he attack this, how can he do that? I just think that is just so valuable. And would be for this guy. So I would like to see some veterans come in. I think a point guard is got to be top of that list. I mean, it absolutely has to be on top of that list. And so the offseason is going to be important. If something comes available before the trade deadline, certainly. But I think the offseason is going to tell who's going to be here and who's not. And we've talked about it a lot. Will Devin Vassell be here? Will Keldon Johnson be here? Will Jeremy Sohan be here? And I think the consensus is, look, if we can turn this thing around and get some talent in here, I think everybody is on the table except for that guy named Wemby. I like Devin Vassell. I think he's a guy that is going to learn as we go, especially playing with Wemby. I think he's a very talented guy, and I think that he's a guy that the Spurs still have plans for. Keldon, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I really thought this year would be Keldon's year to step up, to take his game to the next level, and I just haven't seen it. And you have to wonder, is this the ceiling for Keldon? Is this as far as he's going to go? It remains to be seen. I like Keldon Johnson. I liked it when the Spurs drafted him. Thought it was a great pick, but it just doesn't seem like he's progressed to where we need him to be. So a lot happening and a lot more to watch. Spurs with 10 wins. Can they get number 11 tonight against the Orlando Magic, who is not a very good team away from Orlando, but they are 24-23, and they've got Paolo Banchero, who rookie of the year. Right. So could be a couple of them going up against each other. I'm looking forward to this ball game, see how the Spurs do, and hopefully it will be a better outcome than what we had on Saturday night or on Monday night, I'm sorry, against the Washington Wizards. That tips off at 7 o'clock tonight in the Frost Bank Center. So that's going to be exciting. James Pledger is going to get you ready for that. And he's going to talk a lot of what we've talked about today, expound on his thoughts. Because, see, here's the thing with Pledge. And what I love about Pledge is that he doesn't agree with me all the time. Well, it's just a fault of his, obviously. But he doesn't agree with me all the time. So I'm sure he's going to have his own opinions and his own outlook on some of the things we've said about the Cowboys, about the NBA, and about the Spurs tonight. What do you got on tap tonight, Pledge?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a lot going with the 65 games and how the NBA is really pushing this rule, and you're starting to see players push back.
Yeah.
And you wonder how much backbone Adam Silver has to stand up to these players, because the NBA usually folds to their players,
Yeah.
where the NFL usually wins. So that's going to be a very interesting dichotomy as we see moving forward, as we see players already being vocal about this, because these all NBA teams and MVP awards and things that you need these 65 games to qualify for, that triggers their maxes and their super maxes and
Yeah.
the way that they get paid.
Well, look, the players union was on board with this because Silver couldn't have done it without their support. So they were on board with it. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't change and that they won't push for a change, especially if a lot of players, start complaining about it. And so, it remains to be seen. I like it. I think Adam Silver has to do something. Adam Silver, and with the announcement today.
Well, he did something.
Well, exactly.
He made the draft 2 days.
Well, exactly. So he's trying to make – and who gives a damn about the second round of the NBA draft, honestly?
Nobody.
Nobody, right? So, but he said it publicly that he wants to be more like the NFL. He wants the media in the NBA to be more NFL-like. It's tough to do that, and I don't blame him because the NFL success is off the charts. And the NBA, until we hit the playoffs, it's up and down when it comes to fan interest. So it'll be interesting to see what he does and what he doesn't do. But I know it was irritating the fans just for the examples that I said. Especially us in the West, having an East team come in and their big stars not playing, and that's not fair to the fans.
No, but at the same time, Spurs fans were the first to praise the fact that Timmy played 20 years because of what Pop did.
I get it.
So the hypocrisy of when it happens to you and you're not good anymore, all of a sudden it's an issue. But when you were winning titles, it didn't matter if people were showing up because they were wins on your schedule.
That makes a difference, doesn't it? Winning titles.
A little bit.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot more. And that's why, covering the Spurs for 25 years, Pledge, at Ken's TV, I was fortunate that the majority of those years were championship years, dynasty years even.
Well,
right?
Look at it this way, Joe. They're even more spoiled than we understand that they're spoiled, because not only did they have that massive run with the big three, and I know there was heartache and disappointment before it, but up until this cluster right here of 4 straight years, this franchise in its entirety has never had back-to-back losing seasons in which they missed the playoffs before this.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, Pledge, all right? Don't
it's
let
always
facts...
been a great organization that has been competitive.
I'm tired of losing. I want to see this team progress.
I
thought they would be better this year, and they're just not. So I'm going to hand the baton to you, my friend, and you can say whatever you want. I'll drive home listening to you, probably screaming at the radio, but I'll do that. Hey, thanks for listening today. Really appreciate everybody listening, whether you're driving around on YouTube, sasportstar.com, however you're listening. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Jason Mix will be back tomorrow. No jury duty that I'm aware of. So we'll be back on the radio here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Good night, everybody. I'm a Swiftie.
It's R&R in the morning.
Thursday on R&R in the morning. More news coming out of Mobile, Alabama. All that Jerry has to say about his Cowboys and those seniors practicing for the Senior Bowl. We'll hear from Jerry and Steven and all the news.